Hi, friends. Host Eric here. I was talking to famous people, and this episode of Talking to Famous People, this live stream is called Drama Weather. There's some kind of weird drama weather in the universe that, like right now, it's Winter Storm Watch.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like there's been this avalanche of drama provocations that I've been largely ignoring. They just keep coming, you know.
Yeah.
It started with let me see. Okay, well, started with a light bulb telling me that the rooms had been like disappeared somehow from the account, and we don't know what's up with that.
Yeah.
Trying to find out.
Yeah, you emailed Whereby right after that.
She did, yeah. Today's been a dramatic day, has it?
Venus is in retrograde.
I mean, the thing is, I feel like there's storms of drama trying to come in on me because, well, you know, I was at the supermarket this morning. I got texts from Lightbulb saying, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. I went in and I talked to her in, not Whereby.com. And we tried to figure out, you know, basically it was just, she'd emailed them. They haven't emailed her back yet. She wanted me to check on my end for a couple of things, which I did. And it wasn't that. So, then not that long after that, I guess I was live streaming, and Jason Blood, as he's called now, he used to be called Anchor Jason Blood, came in and told me about his recent experiences. You know, I guess trying out the other side, and reinforced the fact that there is a group of people that just are dedicating their lives apparently to hating me. I don't know.
Yeah, he did confirm that.
Well, maybe dedicating their lives a little exaggerated, but let me just say that they're determined to hate me and see me in a negative light no matter what.
Yeah, you know? No matter what. Exactly.
And according to him, they're spreading assorted lies about me.
I was like,
I did not ask him to go spy or anything. This is all just totally unsolicited by me.
Yeah.
Okay, so then after he came in and told me that stuff, and he said in particular that the storyline is that I'm emotionally manipulating Rachel and keeping her hostage in some sense, you know.
Wait.
Which?
What is in some sense?
I mean,
you either hold him hostage or you don't, and you're not.
I guess I'm holding you hostage with my emotional manipulation.
What?
I don't feel like I'm emotionally manipulative at all.
No.
I think I'm fair and good and true and just and loving.
You are. I don't understand. You are.
Well, you know.
Emotionally manipulated. I'm not really sure I could be manipulated by emotions.
I
mean, yeah, I could, definitely, but you're not. Why would someone say that? I don't even know her.
Well, I mean, I think the message is basically that it's unacceptable for me to be in a healthy, happy relationship, or for what I'm saying about relationships or about Rachel or about people in general to be true, because that's going to disrupt her her worldview, which is basically that I'm a bad guy. I'm a bully. So the thing that happened this evening when we were watching Naruto was she messaged me on what's it called? WhatsApp. Why? Piece the shit out of me. It's like this drama weather, right? This is drama weather.
Yeah, but what did she say?
Yeah, I didn't read much of the message.
You were just like,
I saw the beginning part of it, which said something like that, people find her by Googling Eric Strauss as a bully. Well, it's like I'm not going to deny that there are occasions when I turn into a bit of a bully. It's true. I'm human. I make mistakes. It's not my natural state of being. It's not my basic MO. But it's true. Sometimes I get, my eight takes over, and I guess I get a little bit bullish in my interactions with people. But
never for unjust causes though. Like even with me, like sometimes I feel like my NI instigates, so I get an answer from you. Even though the topic is totally metaphysical.
I mean,
so
I've gotten mad and yelled at you before.
Yeah.
You've gotten mad and yelled at me before.
Yeah.
I
don't get the whole looking her up and
no, I mean, I guess
thing.
Yeah, I guess her point is that I'm a bully or something. I mean, the thing is, I'm a multifaceted human being.
Yeah.
I have moments of being a bully. Well, Winston's mom, basically, I got an unsolicited report from a community member here about this community, this sort of shadow community.
Well, yeah, now it is become.
That's associated with Becky's channel, and the dynamics there and so forth, and the kind of stuff that's being talked about me. It's like it is true that to the extent that somebody is saying that I'm controlling Rachel or being manipulative or holding her hostage or otherwise being a bad relationship partner or a narcissist or a creep or whatever.
What?
I've been called all those things, sure. The most popular video on Taylor's channel is still his video where he said he's calling out the creep and the narcissist to me.
Why doesn't he? I thought he's your friend.
Well, I mean, look, the Becky issue caused a big rift in the community. A lot of Beta Quadra people sort of sided with her because they saw it as me outing her cheating. And I don't think Beta Quadra likes that idea.
Yeah, but the way that I feel is that, like, if it's almost like you sign a waiver, like, you always put yourself out there no matter what. Like, you could, like, today, if you'd stub your toe on, like, a rock or something, it would have been broadcasted on YouTube. So it's kind of like, I don't get, you sign up for what you paid for.
Look, the thing is, things around TWFP can get a little rough and tumble. I can get a little rough and tumble. People's feelings can get hurt. But as long as you're a fair person and get that we all win some and lose some, including me, and that sometimes you got to be the one who goes, my bad, and is accountable. If you can do that, then you're comfortable here. You're comfortable here. I mean, to the extent that I had anything to apologize for, I've long since addressed it and acknowledged it. The thing is, I mean, I didn't. The point about this particular stream is that I was just minding my own business, doing my figgity thing, right? It's just like watching Naruto, making
which is exactly. I'm glad Naruto was on when you got it, at least like something good.
Yeah, but the thing is, the point is, Swift Eagle, the weather is making me go, okay, don't. It's like it keeps being like thunder and lightning and stuff. So I keep going, okay, I guess there's weather happening now. It's not like I went and sought any hello Sharadi Sharir. Sharadi Sharir.
Hello.
It's like I was just minding my own business, doing my thing over here, just live streaming about whatever. It's not like I caused any of this or did anything to provoke it at all. It just sort of erupts periodically, and starts to seep like this lesion on the tree.
Seriously,
this canker. It's like a canker.
It is like that. So WhatsApp is cringy. It's for free multinational communication via telephone by smartphone. It's free. A lot of people get scammed on it. I did, actually.
My FI is inherently loyal and still harbors some
hope. But I never give money.
No, I don't harbor any hope about that. I mean, I'm not responding to anything she says to me or anything. It's like the absolute just wishful thinking, I guess, that she can control the frame with me and have me talk to her like I would talk to a human being. Remember, this is a woman who emailed my elderly dad a bunch of defaming shit about me because she didn't like me talking about her in a video.
No,
well, talk about me in a video then. Don't email my dad. Talk about a PLS, There's no hope in my heart or FI at all involved here. I just am saying the weather sometimes storms up as it has in this instance. It's not just if any one of those things had happened independently of the other things, the rooms, the Jason Blood, the communication, the weird uncertainty about what's going on with the rooms. And a long conversation with Lightbulb about that. Like, what could possibly be happening here? It's either.
And for just a little while.
What is that?
I'm in TWFP 2.
Oh, you're in TWFP 2.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Nice.
Hi.
Hey, I thought to check in on the rooms while we were live streaming to see what was going on. Yeah.
Well, you're sort of live in the sense that Rich has got you on her phone, but
yeah.
The holy ones have come to revive us.
I'm just talking about all the drama and shit going around here. It's like we're having drama weather, After last summer's incident, are you hesitant at all to host another TWFP summer camp? Fuck no. I'm not hesitant.
That's your haircut, Rachel. Looks nice.
Yeah, thanks. Who's speaking right now?
That's Neptune.
This is Neptune.
Oh, hey, Neptune. I've asked about you. Are you an INFP?
I am, yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
As far as I know.
Cool. It's nice to meet you properly.
Likewise.
Okay. Do you want to?
We're leaving. I just wanted to hop in.
Bye.
I just wanted to know who you guys were. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is
Hilarious.
this is host Eric.
I'm
This
Eric.
is his
Rachel.
Talking with Famous People. This is
That's
his
okay.
channel.
It's okay.
He owns it.
Rachel, it's
Who
okay.
are you, Eric?
You'll hear.
I've seen you, dude. It's been like a year and a half. Your beard's grown so long.
Yeah, my beard's growing long. Well, it's COVID. You know, I blame COVID. I can't get
You're
a
such
effing
a
haircut.
deadbeat dad, Eric.
I'm supposed to be dead? Oh, okay. Supposed to be dead.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Who are you guys? Oh. I love talking with famous people. I
Me
just love it
too.
so much. I love the fact that I've got, you know, the French Resistance.
Who's
But I think of Becky's efforts here as kind of like the French Resistance, mostly for show.
mostly for show?
Mostly for show as the Germans trample their way through Paris.
That is funny.
Plant ketchup is the French Resistance. It's growing. It grows larger the further away you get from it, and the less accurately you look at it.
Oh.
Hilarious.
Hilarious indeed.
But you know, Eric, you know what that makes you know, Eric, right? Well, you know, I am a bully.
That's great right now. Fame is one thing, many things strive for.
We are all famous. You're right, Fifth Eagle.
Here on Talking with Famous People.
But here's the thing. There's one thing Becky has that she will never, ever lose. Even though she forced me to take down every video she was ever in on this channel. Even though she explicitly asked me to make them with her for the channel. Becky will always be, no matter how hard she tries not to be, a famous person.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, God, it's hilarious.
I'm so glad you're so entertained by that. I was too. I couldn't help myself.
I do not want to be famous, but I would not mind managing a famous person behind the scenes, guide them, direct them. Listen, being a famous person once in a while has nothing to do with being a celebrity.
No,
okay?
you don't have to be. No way.
For example, George Clooney, well-known celebrity,
Yeah.
not a famous person.
No.
Never been on the show.
No, yeah, never been on the show.
Never been on Talking with Famous People
Yeah.
means you're not a famous person.
Right.
But you could still be an extremely well-known celebrity.
Like who?
I'd like to be both. Right now, there are no famous people who are also really well-known celebrities. I'm hoping to be the first.
I'd say yes. How are you already not? You
Well, I
wear
know I'm not famous.
you wear
yet.
hats
I
like
mean, I'm
all
not
over the
celebrity
place,
yet.
and like you have a bug car. You know you have a mini. It's like panda colored. It's like, how are you not noticed?
I don't know. Somehow there's like the slabs have some inherent failure in children because like I can imagine my haters getting famous for how successfully they hate me.
No.
While I remain in obscurity.
No
somehow.
way. No, because then in that case, like, no, Frank James likes you and he's popular, so no way would the slabs let that happen.
Oh, Rachel, the slabs have got me as a tavrine. Tavrines. Not necessarily anything that super exciting happens to them, necessarily, but interesting things happen to people all around them.
See, me too.
So, I don't know. I'm hoping to transition from tavrine to tavrine plus.
What am I?
I don't know. I got that term from this series of books I read called the Wheel of Time series. It's a fantasy book series by Robert Jordan.
Ooh.
like
Oh
16
yeah, you've mentioned it before. I've looked them up.
16
Are
books
there any
long.
females in it?
Yes, it's like half females.
Cool. Can I be the one that you like so that we can work together?
I'm trying to remember this book. Well, see, there were two main chicks in it. Okay, the one chick was known as a wise woman, and she was like a country kind of like used the magic that was untrained. It was like the magic would come out when she'd get upset.
Like more
and stuff.
animal. Okay. Like the Ninetales
Yeah, kind
in the beginning.
Yeah. And then the other chick, she was like a formally like an ideal candidate, for the Aes Sedai, which were like the. See, at the beginning of the story, there's magic is divided into two categories of magic. Okay, there's lady magic and there's dude magic. Okay, so lady magic, you have to surrender to the magic, and then you get
That's hysterical.
take hold of it, and you don't take hold of it,
no.
but you let it flow through. It's all like about not forcing it, right?
Okay. So
Whereas the male magic is all about you have to grab the source of magic and you got to force it to me.
do they have that on? I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna listen to them when I sleep. Do you think they'll have them on YouTube?
What, Robert Jordan books?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody might have read them under YouTube videos. Who knows?
Yeah, I like to. Yeah, audio. But like, which one am I? That's the only one kind of question. Because like, I want to be the one that you're gonna be betting.
I forget their names. Is the problem? I
don't
can tell
care
you which
about
one.
the names.
I can tell you which chick you are.
Which am I?
You're the candidate, not the wild one.
Okay,
the other one.
And like,
Elaine, that's her name. I think it's Elaine.
Okay, so is Elaine the one that you get with?
Well, yeah, Elaine's the main character's like love interest.
Okay,
the main character is the Dragon Reborn. He's also his name is I forget what his name is. But anyway,
does he have to choose between the two of them?
Look, here's the thing. At the beginning of the series, the Dark One has poisoned all the male magic. So the female Aes Sedai go around and they gentle men who have the power, because if they use the power, they go insane because the Dark One has poisoned the male half of the source.
Oh my gosh!
Okay? Now, so at the beginning of the book, all the Aes Sedai are women, but before that, but long ago, before the Dark One had poisoned the male half of the source, then there used to be male and female Aes Sedai, and they were both the same, whatever. But so anyway, now there's only females because anytime there's a male, they gentle him. But the thing is, whatever his name is, the main character, the dragon, he ends up eventually cleaning the male half of the source.
Oh, that's what your dad came over to talk about.
What?
The weather. I probably let know. I was watching Community. Do you like your food, pee-pee, or do you need more water? Okay, so we end up together. But I have a question.
I don't know. I didn't finish the book series.
Oh shit! You end up with the other girl because she has the fierce power.
No. They're both the chicks are powerful. They're just different styles of powerful.
Oh. The
wild chick, in fact, she's powerful, but she doesn't have very good control over her power. The other chick has good control over power and is also powerful.
So do you get with both of them?
No, I don't. No, he doesn't get with the
But doesn't he say?
He hadn't gotten with either of them at this where I am in the series. There's like 16 books, and I only got through like book 8 or something.
Oh.
And then I caught up. Like I stopped when I got to the end of how many he had written. Since then, the series has been finished. That was many years ago.
Okay, so as long as you want to have sex with that girl, I'm good. That's what I mean.
When I read fantasy books, I'm not really thinking about that sort of thing.
No, it's saving and right, like fantasy stuff, magic.
Right. Well, the thing is, the chicks are just as powerful as the dudes in these books.
That's cool.
It's not like the chicks are getting saved.
I like that a lot. That's why I think I would like watching it. I mean, listening to it.
Yeah, it's a good. So, what is the drama? Well, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Yeah, what is it?
But it's just been drama weather, which is to
I
say,
know what it
there's been
is.
3 separate things that have occurred that all indicate drama in the mix. Namely, one, there's been some sort of weird disappearance of control from me and Lightbulb over rooms 1 and 2. Where who has those rooms? They still exist, but they're no longer under her account, or I just paid for a whole year, so I don't know what happened.
Your account, your money. It said.
Right, but the thing is, it's not like there's hacking me either. They have to have hacked Lightbulb's account, which makes no sense, and there's no indication of that. And
I don't know.
Anyway, we're talking to Whereby and trying to figure it out. So there's that going on. Of course, one naturally wonders about it because the last time there were problems with those rooms, it was Jane committing, basically federal crime of identity theft in order to delete my account certainly without my permission, and as a means of harming me, which it did harm me because I had been grandfathered into a plan for those rooms that I lost as a consequence of her behavior, But regardless, so naturally, as soon as the rooms disappear, my thoughts go, I wonder if, I have no reason to think they would be in this instance because I don't see how it would be possible, really. But naturally, my brain goes there. So then the next day, after this happens, Jason Blood shows up and, shares his experience checking it out for himself and seeing what he thinks about what's going on over
SB?
there. SB?
Yeah, there was like a name SB. I know Taylor, like the Tay was there. That's the girl. That's like.
Oh, in the room in there?
Yeah.
I have no idea who SB is. Why do I need rooms when you have this platform? Well, the fact is, when I started those rooms and the raw rooms, it was part of a vision, so to speak, that I had regarding. No, not usually. I don't check Facebook, John Schindler. Hold on. I'm not done explaining this thing. So, then he comes in and starts telling me, well, they're spreading these lies, and they're particularly lies about my relationship with Rachel, which are very strange lies. I think of them as very strange lies. Yeah,
definitely have me in the camera for this. Also, I feel like
The Wheel of Time on Amazon isn't out yet. It's not slated to be out until next year. Oh, they're making a movie out of it or something? What do you mean by on Amazon? Because the books are all done, right?
Yeah, that means that someone could.
They're going to make a movie out of it? Oh, read it out loud? Oh, you mean the audiobooks, Desert Island TJ? TV show. Wow, I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, fuck yeah. Cool. Totally. How do you tell the difference between Blind Spot FI and Demon SE? What's Demon SE?
See, that's like other channels speak. What is Demon?
Well, Blind Spot I get. Demon, I think Ace Slot? I mean, are you saying how do you determine the difference between FI7 and SE7? Yeah, okay. So you're saying, am I an ENP or an INTP? Is that the question you're asking? Or you're about yourself? Blind to both. Well,
how's your TI?
It's gonna be good either way.
Hey, Zandy.
What makes you think you're SE polar? Like, what's an example for you of what it means to be SE polar? And what's an example of what it means for you to be FI polar?
Are you worried about something, baby? Do you know something? I trust your instincts, man.
There's a helicopter overhead.
Yeah. was grabbing onto my toes with her tail. It's raining. It's pouring.
No, that's not SE polar. That's FE
dreaming.
polar.
My lovely bunkins.
That's correct about
Yes,
FI
Kitty
polar.
Badger winner,
The fact that you don't know what SE polar is and conflate it with
Kitty
FE,
Badger
which is
winner,
which would be your
Daddy.
fourth slot if you're an INTP, is highly
Kitty
suggestive that you're an INTP,
and
not an ENTP.
mommy all together. Isn't this nice?
Well, it's not social rules. I mean, FE is an interface function.
Thank you for
It's
being
the capacity to read and know changes in the dynamic social interface in real time.
Yes, yes.
I mean, look. My friend Cameron comes over, and if you sit and watch Cameron interact with Rachel, you would think Cameron is an extrovert.
Yeah.
You're struggling with my definition of FE. Why? Your definition of SE makes no sense.
Ooh, smooshy smoosh. Sorry.
Sharadi Sharir is ENFP. Well,
Hi.
hello, ENFP Sharadi Sharir. Typically, one conflates their seventh and their fourth function. So I tend to mistake FI as SI. Not anymore.
What?
Not really. Because nowadays I don't go, I don't genuinely ever, without be joking, think, how are you feeling right now, Eric? Tired? It used to be I would actually not understand the question.
Sometimes I do that.
But nowadays when I do it, I'm kind of joking. But the point is, typically, until one really has a lot of understanding of functions, one conflates one's seventh and fourth. So you'll mistake, if you're SE polar, you'll mistake SE for FE. No, I was nice. I greeted everybody. That's SE. No, that's not SE. That's FE.
You're one tough kitty pageant winner. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I agree. There's terrible misinformation out there all over the place. My definitions make sense, are clear. They adequately parse out the available ground for each of the functions equally. And my approach understands when I'm talking about, say, a value that correlates with it, or when I'm talking about, like, for example, right now I'm saying typically if people mistake their seventh and their fourth, it's indicative that, if people mistake meow for meow a lot, then probably it's seventh and fourth.
Don't I do that?
So for you, that would be mistaking TE and for SE.
SE all the time.
Right.
All the time. I feel like such a spaz.
Well, it's because when you don't try to figure out how to do it, you just start doing it and make mistakes and clean them up as you go.
Remember, that's how you trained me with the car. Like with it's just like I was kind of cornered. It was like, well, you're gonna do it, and so I was like, I like took everything that I learned and I did it, but it was like hastily done.
Well, FI,
I was able to do
it. For an INTP, FI is always in service of TI. Since they're contradictory deliberation functions, it may seem as though you're not incorporating FI because it's always subsumed by TI. But that's not the case. It's the case that because you're double deliberating, in other words, you've got an 8-slot automatic function that's deliberating with your authentic value of something, how much it matters to you. Because it's important to remember that even for polar people, certain things matter more than other things to you.
Yeah.
And certain things are going to hurt if you lose them, and certain things you're not going to really care that much.
Yeah, like jobs for me. So I think that's TE, right?
Yeah. Well, having a general practicality mindset tends to correlate with TE.
Yep. So jobs for me.
And for you, practicality means, well, basically, I don't need to have practical planning because if shit hits the fan, I'll just do what's necessary at the time.
Yeah. I think on my feet, it's not always practical. Definitely, that's for sure. I've definitely kicked my own ass. Definitely kicked my own ass.
Right, so I tend to get caught in these loops of rumination, seem to be very TI focused. Well, that's more an INTP phenomenon than an ENTP.
That's what I was thinking too.
I don't tend to get caught in loops of rumination because I talk it out or
Yes.
just forget about it.
My favorite meme, we look it up, is an INFJ ENTP meme, and at the top it's her, and she's like, "I wonder if he's thinking about me." And the bottom one is he's like, "Is sand made out of like little rocks? Where did these rocks come from?" Like it's like a totally arbitrary like question that like it's hard to solve. It's been happening a little bit with us. It's cute, but I'm always happy about it because I'm always thinking it the worst because my NI goes crazy.
I'll see this meme in a second. I want to mention this thing that I'm doing right here. So this thing where I'm making my finger line up with the door here as I'm looking at it is probably, I would guess, the kind of thing that INTPs are less likely to do than ENTPs.
Wow.
It's kind of an 8 slot SE thing. Serving any. Like, I want to see what it would look like if this were lined up with that or something.
I know what you're talking about.
But because so in other words, ENTPs are more distractible in general because we're more in the sensory realm than INTPs are in real time. Real time, I'm looking around more than an INTP looks around. I'm meowing my sensory input more than an INTP would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The thing is, INTPs are much more likely to get lost in the, I guess, in the mental space.
Yeah.
And ENTPs, if I'm lost in the mental space, it's because my FI has been engaged.
It's tougher for INTPs to be okay with being like wrong or their idea of what is wrong. Like I remember them being kind of like they wanted to impress the science teachers, especially. Sandy, you inspired me actually to cut my bangs. So thank you for that.
I think for a person who's INTPs are much more likely to be told. I've been told my thoughts are very divergent and hard to follow because any tool function is where it's going excess. You corrected your what? ESFJ?
That's what I thought too. I thought she was an ESFJ as well when you were describing it.
I mean, you're probably an INTP. You might be an ENTP. It doesn't seem to me you want to resolve the question. It seems to me that you want the question to be unresolvable, so you're kind of split the difference or something.
Venting, maybe?
TFB.
You might be venting.
You're one or the other.
Venting.
You're one or the other, and not both.
You're definitely NTP, that's for sure. Yeah, you're venting here.
So.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Again, you tell by the people that gather around you. No, I don't think so. People. At least not. Yeah, back to the topic here. Planet Catch-up ought to look on the bright side, at least now that the cognitive dissonance is fully nestled in the tender minds of her friends. She gets to practice everything she purports you to be. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's projection. I don't know. Whom Huma huma nuku nuku kua kua. Huma humu humu nuku nuku ua pua'a. That's how it's said. Huma huma nuku nuku
Yep.
pua'a.
Yeah, you said it before. You said it when we were in Hawaii.
Yeah. It is pretty great. It's more clever than, but I prefer the other Neki Oloins. Who came up with that one? I don't. Maybe somebody. I like Neki Oloins.
Yeah, I do too.
It's transference. This is how she describes your relationship as counselee.
What's mine, Winston's mom? What's the astro on me that you got? I'd like to hear.
The thing is striking is like the compulsion she has to communicate with me, to send me a message on WhatsApp.
What's the point? Like I said, there is no point. That's it.
I mean, I guess she is just still thinking one way or the other she's gonna force the frame, you know? And so it's like she will get me to respond in some way, like to the fact that she messaged me, but I'm always gonna respond like this. I'm never gonna engage her directly. She's lost the right to have a regular conversation with me. She forsook that when she chose to do a bunch of crazy nonsense, you know?
Yeah.
When she chose to email my elderly father defaming information about me because she didn't like me mentioning her in a YouTube video. Well, that's when she lost the ability to have a conversation with me. She forsook that. She said, I no longer want the ability to be able to talk to Eric at all.
That's justice.
You know, she surely knew that.
Yeah. Well, yes, she did surely know that.
I mean, it's not one of those things that you're going to get anybody to let
It's
slide.
tough
really.
to come back from. Yeah.
It's a big mistake.
Yeah. Winston's mom, I was asking I would love your take on my astro stuff. I talk about my astro stuff like so much that I'm bored of it. I would love your perspective.
My perspective is it's all about the stars and the planets. Plus, most importantly, your yods.
It really is.
Yeah.
My God.
She's still trying to attack, you know. The thing is, as long as there's a community that the one requirement for admittance into their club is that no positive words about Eric or Tom.
Yeah, it's the She-Man woman hating club. Yeah. It's the the people hating Eric club.
You said 400 milligrams of candy.
Dropping off.
If you drop off, that's why. I don't know what that is exactly, what your candy is, but
they say my astrological birth chart was a product of severe weather. That is such a strange answer.
Kyra's usually joking, Rachel. She's using dry ENTP humor.
God, it's so hard for me to read. I'm so sorry.
Is it the kind of candy that makes you go to sleep, or the kind of candy that makes you stay awake? Don't take too much of the kind that makes you go to sleep. Or the kind that makes you stay awake, for that matter. I had such a good nap this afternoon / evening.
I'm so glad. I think host Eric has my email address, so send me your chart. I will email your response. I love learning about new science, and you're an Aquarian like my moon, so I learn even more. Well, actually, I'm cusp. I'm January 16th, so I'm Capricorn. I don't know.
Right. I mean, the thing is, I get that there will always be, you'll be awake. That's a lot of milligrams of wakefulness. That's a lot of milligrams of wakefulness. Are you sure you want to take that many milligrams of wakefulness?
Never.
That's nutty pants. I mean, literally, that's like, you've done half that before? You doubled up on 200? I mean, for Christ's sakes, dude, I don't think I've ever done more than maybe 120 max. And that's a shit ton, I mean, did you work your way up to that? Did you have a lot yesterday too? Hopefully, because then it's fine. No, I mean, that sounds like an INTP move. INTPs are the most, they can do a ton of drugs. INTPs can do a ton of drugs. And people to go like, man, Eric, you can smoke a lot of weed. And I can. I can.
Don't copy him.
But INTPs, more.
Yeah, probably.
Like, hang out with Spacey made it clear. I mean, it's about how much heat can your head take. See, INTPs conserve energy. I can't really see my hands, but I can still type. Great, John.
Okay, so Strauss.
May I recommend drinking a lot of water? Probably a good idea. You might get dehydrated. Otherwise, you're gonna be thwacked. You're gonna be thwackaged.
Okay. Winston's mom, he has your number. I'm gonna text you, okay? You all right with that? I don't want to do it before.
I have her email address, Jim.
Oh, you do?
Email? Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I think it's F. The F or PH? Winston's mom, is it F or PH? I forget. How can you reach me outside of this channel? Well, yeah, I'll put my number here. Is it this? No.
Yeah. I tried to look it up.
You put in, yeah.
I got Sody.
That sounds like a good idea.
You like what?
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'll copy that and then you can remove it.
You got all of it.
Copy.
You didn't get all of it.
I know.
Oh.
Okay. So let's see here. What else are I gonna do? Oh yeah, this. Mia, and then Mia, and then Mia, and then Mia. There. Mia. And then I'm going to CC Mia. And then I'm going to put Mia. That makes sense. Please see Mia. In other words, the other email address. There. Now I have shared that email address with one Rachel D. Rachel D. Potato Pants.
I am D. Potato Pants. Cool, thank you.
I gotta respond to this. This is why I hate opening my email. I hate it because then I have to do something. It's always it gets me. It's how it gets me.
Don't do it then.
No, I do want to. I want the
Oh.
thing. You know? I can, mom. Before what time do I work tomorrow? 4 o'clock.
Oh man, you're asking the wrong person.
No, I'm asking the right person.
Yeah, no, I'm not really. I actually don't know. This time I don't know. PM Yonkers, New York. 11010. No, that is not that. Right. Do I have all the birth info? Birthplace, time, and city. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sending that email. Yeah. What else was I looking at? Some piece of Piao in the pew? Something like that? Probably. Who knows? Nobody knows anything anymore. It's all a great mystery that nobody will ever know.
True.
That's why I like to say, Siddhartha sedate, Siddhartha sigh. What's impossible to watch Siddhartha try? Siddhartha sit down, Siddhartha's tree. In that moment he released the mysteries he did not relate. Siddhartha's mind. What would come to Siddhartha not winning tried? Now watch what he makes. Siddhartha seems to accompany his greatest waking dreams. Siddhartha was royal half his life. Siddhartha the royal had it right. Siddhartha recoil at the sight. Siddhartha sedate. Siddhartha, where are you now? The fantasy is to have Siddhartha right in front of me. Well, what would I say? Siddhartha, it's impossible to watch Siddhartha try. Siddhartha, sit down. Siddhartha, please. Would you come to your senses? Will you retrieve your functional gait? Your fighting pride. Irresponsible now that your hands are tied. Siddhartha was royal. Half his life. Siddhartha the royal had it right. Siddhartha recoil at the sight. Siddhartha sedate. Bum 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 bum. Kristen, the answer you can come to without any research. If you want to, my phone number. My email address, you can email me too, but my email address is this.
I emailed you,
thank Michael
you for
Floyd.
all the, dabs, by the way.
Rachel,
They're
we
appreciated.
need to, transubstantiate a bong rep for Michael Floyd.
Absolutely.
He is out of weed.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
And his guy's
remember
down the bed.
Those days?
I
remember those days
too.
And
there was recent as like last week when he didn't make it to the store on time, but thanks to COVID.
Truth.
Now look, if you want me to full blast type you, John Chandler, you're gonna have to pay me $100. So I don't know if you really want to do that or not. Hey Jason Blood, how's it going? If you don't want to, I get it. That's fine. I'm not trying to pressure you or anything. I don't do a hard sell. I'm just saying, it's not that entertaining for me to. If you want me to do it on video, I can. It's up to you. It's up to the client, obviously.
Yeah. So change their mind. Even you don't have to.
Some people don't want it published. Some people do want it published.
At first, I didn't think that I wanted mine published, and then at last minute, I was like, you know what? This is interesting. Why not?
Yeah. Why would you say Jason Blood's a snake in the grass? First of all, I don't generally tolerate a lot of personal attacks like that. If you want to accuse him of something specific, then
Here.
go ahead. That's fine.
Ow. Do you want some more?
Oh, right. Transubstantiated bong rip for Michael Floyd. Michael Floyd, I'm sorry we've delayed your bong rip too
It's
long.
for you.
Oh, I'm going to pull
and
this one?
Would you like more?
This should be fine. You know, around here, Christian, whatever your name is, you try to be actually fair and decent and just.
Yeah, you should, Curious Kiara. It's worth it. I did it.
He plays for both teams. No, I mean, I don't think he's playing for my team at all. I'm not like that. You see, I don't require loyalty to be my internet friend here. You know, to hang out and enjoy your company doesn't require you signing some loyalty oath to me. You're welcome to go agree with Becky about whatever. You know, or not. But I'm not. You know, it's like the thing is, I do think that for those who choose to not hold Spite Monkeys at all accountable and think that they're sort of like, oh, I like them both. They're both good. Well, I think that person's wrong in that assessment. That you can't shake the devil's hand exactly and say you're only kidding. But
Black, I do have a question. Like, do you agree with the stuff that she's saying about the relationship between Eric and I? Because I just don't understand why she would talk about that.
Between Eric and me.
Me and Eric.
I'm sorry to be a
me and Eric. It's okay. I don't know.
It's because the object of the preposition. Everybody does that. When you have a compound object of the preposition, people go, oh, it must be I.
So me, can I say me and Eric?
Yeah, about me and Eric. Or Eric and me.
Eric and me. Apparently, she's been talking about her relationship, saying that, like,
what do you mean told you what really happened? What really happened was
lied.
Anchor outright lied. I mean, the thing is, I have no idea. What's caused me to make this video, Jalen Black, was that Becky messaged me on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
It really didn't have anything to do with Anchor Jason Blood.
Anchor Jason Blood, what do you say to Jalen Black saying that you lied? Okay, there you go.
He says he did not lie about anything.
Yeah, and I believe
I believe him.
Yeah, I do too, because he said it even before I asked him.
Note that he's very public and specific.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's fine. So that he didn't lie then, did he? You might say he didn't represent it as complete all the details and stuff, but he didn't lie. You know, the fact that you think he lied based on that tells me this is the risk of people being, you know, just sort of unjudgmentally trying to be have both ways. You know what I mean? The thing is, I don't ask for any loyalty from anybody, and anybody can go anywhere they want, and I don't give a fuck. People can talk about me all they want in other videos. I don't give a fuck. You know, and if I talk about you in a video and you don't like it, you can make a video about me. Go for it. I don't give a fuck. Don't email my dad defaming shit about me. See, there's a difference between bad people and decent people, Jalen Black, right? I don't talk shit behind anybody's back. I talk shit wide in the open, just like I am right now, Christian. Okay, it doesn't matter, Jalen Black or Jason Blood, what exactly happened in that exchange there. It doesn't matter. The fact is,
I don't talk about Becky at all. That's the point. I shouldn't be dragged into this. I have nothing to do with it. And also, like, once you don't apologize honestly toward the fact that you were harassing Eric's elderly father, that's really hard to come back from as a friend. So it's pretty much like over. And it's sad because when friends go separate ways, it can get messy, but it doesn't need to be this messy. That's the thing. That's the saddest part.
Well, I mean, look, Jalen Black, just because you've not heard her mention you, Doesn't mean other people haven't. It doesn't mean that when other people say that they have, doesn't mean that they're lying. Right? Hambone's got a point there, Liam Black.
Thanks, Ghost Rider and Sandy.
So let me pull this bong rip for Michael Floyd, who's still waiting for bong rip. I transubstantiate thee with a regular lighter. Can I do that? I don't think I'm allowed to do that. They're gonna have to get the torch.
Definitely the torch. You don't need my gaff lighter.
Hambone had a point. Zoom Black.
I forgot that she had. Nice transubstantiate for.
Oh, transubstantiated for thee, Michael Floyd. No, I mean, I think what you're seeing is there's no particular dynamic. It's just Becky messaged me again on WhatsApp this evening, and I was just like, geez, this is like the third.
Maybe she likes you. Does she have a crush on you?
I don't think so.
Usually people who have crushes are like obsessive like that.
I watched Naruto too. So, the thing is, she's in her message to me tonight. I didn't read it, but I caught enough of it to see that it mentioned me being a bully. Sometimes I am a bully, Sometimes I can be a bully, but that doesn't make me a bully. It makes me somebody who occasionally gets a little over assertive, I guess. And as far as what you're seeing from Becky, I think she's an ENTP like me. I've never wavered on that. I still think she's an ENTP. She's just somebody it's the difference between ENTP with objective self-criticism and ENTP who's trying to run from that.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
How old is she?
29 or something? I'm not sure.
I think it's not until like 30s that they learn.
Well, the thing is, one of the most important things a person can do in life is get accustomed to the idea of taking a loss graciously.
Yeah. Yeah, for ENTP? Yeah. Because you guys are used to winning a lot. Like, I remember with Jen, she'd be really hoity-toity about, like the girls that were after her. In fact, like, I even was jealous. I was like, wow, like, attractive people are always after you. Like, you always have like that. But, like, I knew, like, that was something in my head. I was like, you got to be careful about that because the more hoity-toity you are, like, it's hard. You have to take a loss in order to learn.
Look at the 7-Eleven incident where I got all upset at the guy outside 7-Eleven.
I forgot about that.
The thing is, I lost that battle with that guy. And I'm riding away on my bicycle.
Oh,
I really do not want to have lost it. I really wish that I could somehow frame it as something else. I wish that I could be like, all right, that's it. This battle's not over. I'm going to go back there and I'm going to show that 7-Eleven and I'm going to show that guy or whatever. But no, I was wrong in the first place. First of all, it's their business. If they have a rule that says put on a mask, put on a fucking mask. Okay, but Jason Black, again, you're fixated on this minor little detail about an interaction between Jason Blood and Becky and not addressing the core point that is being made, which is the difference between her and me is I'm not dishonest about her. And I'm not demonizing her into some devil person who has no good qualities. And I'm fair. I'm fair and honest and decent.
Well, the truth is too that the intel that comes in is mostly negative. It might be like biased, but actually the Jason Anchorblood was the most unbiased one because he was actually checking you out.
One of the first combos you had in Becky's room was talking shit about Eric's manner of debate. Well, sure. I know. Well, he came in here and said that to me. You know, it's like he made very explicit that he was mad at me. He thought that I had bullied him perhaps in the debate that we had. And I agree to a certain extent. I was rude in that debate, and I probably should have been more polite and more civil. I regret that I wasn't. But see, I'm human, so I make mistakes. So it doesn't bother me that Anchorblood went to go talk shit about that. That's the
Yeah,
proper
it's
way
a
to respond
forum.
to something. This is how people do when they're responding
Right.
well to things. They're talking about it. They're not
Mhm.
throwing punches. They're not shooting each other. They're talking about it.
Mhm.
This is fine. There's nothing wrong with this at all. I appreciate Jason Blood going and deciding to test it out, you know?
I do have a question. What is your definition of friendish?
Friendish?
Yeah. Like friend-ish behavior.
I mean, I don't really have that. I don't make that
wouldn't think so.
distinction.
Yeah,
I don't make
I
that
wouldn't think that
distinction.
you're either your friend or they're not.
Yeah, I think that I can understand how one might make that distinction, but I wouldn't make that distinction. Fiendish.
I know. Oh, fiendish. Oh, that's so my bad. Kirsty, I was like, fiendish. Oh my gosh, my sister likes the word fiendish too. They use it in the Beatles movie Help. They say it's a fiendish thingy. And my sisters say it all the time. Thank you for clearing
Jalen
that
Black,
up.
though, come on. Now, it's time for you to sort of step up and be a little bit accountable here. You got to acknowledge something. You're bending over backwards to find little spots where maybe they're right and Anchor Jason Blood's wrong and ignoring everything else.
Can I just say to Kira that she'd be a really good candidate for in the Actors Studio because at the end, what's his name? The guy who always talks like this and he has the glasses. He always asks them like their favorite color and their favorite sound and their favorite. So they have a favorite word, and you'd be a perfect candidate because you do have the favorite word and stuff.
You know who else is fond of severe and severely is F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Really,
He likes that word.
really, it's so fascinating.
His sentences like, I just don't see it that way, said Maria most severely to Jason. Like that.
That's so interesting. What do you think of his writing?
My typing service costs $100. And it's for an hour-long conversation, questions back and forth. I'll try to pull out sort of demonstrations of your attentional manner in action and say, this is your type. You were an edgelord, and then you became a normie. Barracuda is a nice word.
Barracuda.
Barracuda is how I pronounce it. Barracuda. Oh my God, look at the Barracuda.
Yeah, I was just thinking heart. We're sinking Winston's mom.
Is it kidding me?
I was thinking of my favorite word now. All I can come up with is laugh. Because I like that it has a U in it. This story's about you.
Where's the full text of this? Full text. Fine.
Oh, cool. They have the audio of it. It's used 3 times.
Then he turned sharply and without another word climbed into his phaeton, which was waiting at the curbstone, and drove severely away. That's number one. Number two.
Gosh.
It doesn't seem like a joke to us, replied the nurse severely. It's number 2.
That's so appropriate, though.
Number 3. Again, the nurse. You're wrong, Mr. Button, said the nurse severely. This is your child, and you'll have to make the best of it. They use the 3 severely's right at the beginning of the story, too.
Wow.
It's all at the beginning, and then I guess he, what's another F. Scott Fitzgerald story? What's that? A diamond as big as the Ritz. A diamond as big as the Ritz. Full text. Let's see if this one has the word severely in it.
That's a great idea. 1922.
0. How about severe? This one doesn't. Interesting story. This diamond as big as the Ritz.
What's another
F.
Tales
Scott-
of the Jazz Age?
Another F. Scott Fitzgerald book is Great Gatsby.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I wonder how many times that has severely in it.
Probably a lot.
Yeah. I always thought that the narrator was an ENTP. Nate or whatever. Nathaniel.
Possibly. Let's see.
I liked him because he turned all that stuff away. What?
Not once in the whole book.
Only for nurses. I guess he thinks that nurses. He was in a war.
Huh. What other F. Scott Fitzgerald book is there? I could look at.
That like it's about love. Damn, my sister said that I would like it.
I don't know. You know who? Probably Saki uses the word severely a lot too. I think. What's a good Saki story? That's I'm trying to think of it. Saki stories. The 10 best Saki stories everyone should read. The English short story writer Hector Hugh Monroe, better known as Saki, is one of the wittiest and funniest writers of short fiction in all of English literature. I totally agree with this person, whoever wrote this.
Open window.
Yeah, we read that. Sredni Vashtar read that.
No, but open. I think I know. Open. That's the picture of the book. I want to see severely. Let's go.
You've got to have severely.
I know.
Let's
Can
see.
I have the lighter, please?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can have the lighter, ma'am. Here's a lighter from your hand. Use it to ignite that sand. Ignite that sand. Okay.
He does use it.
The princely secretary ate and drank with fair appetite, but severely discouraged conversation. At the finish of the meal, he broke suddenly into a radiant smile, thanked his hostess for a charming repast, and kissed her hand with deferential rapture. Miss Huddle was unable to decide in her mind whether the action savored of Louis XIVian courtliness or the reprehensible Roman attitude towards the Sabine women.
Ooh, Sabine.
I don't know, like, again, H.H. Monroe, absolute stunning genius.
Yeah. I like Sabine for her name.
The Rape of the Sabine women.
I saw that in the Met. The Metropolitan Museum of Art, that structure. I thought nothing of it. I literally did not know it was a rape. They didn't say that in the instruction. It said the 3 of them. It's funny.
Huh. That's horrible. I don't like that story. Okay, let me look here for severely as well.
It's another like 20s kind of like slang that would be written in a Fitzgerald. Damned.
Rachel's an INFJ. But you know, Asaki's either an INFJ or an ENTP. Cloud's provocateur, so he likes to say, he'll say whatever, you know.
Do you think
He'll say the moon's square if it gets people to respond to him.
Do you think Fitzgerald would have said damned a lot in his books?
Possibly. Yeah.
Cool.
Damn or damn. That makes them
Damned, yeah. Especially like an ED because it makes it more special. Can we look it up?
damned.
Annoying. Yeah, damned. I want to see. I feel like that's a 1920s kind of. Oh, I got a POO. Poo. Ha!
This is in Great Gatsby. It's used 4 times.
Oh. Really?
I'll be damned if I see you. See how you got within a mile of her. And then I'll be damned again.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nick
Nick?
is the one I always thought was possibly an ENTP.
Nick
Yeah.
who?
In The Great Gatsby.
I don't remember that book very well. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing either. I only watched the movie. Because they said it's an ENTP, ENFP, INTJ relationship, like Daisy and the guy who changes himself to be rich, but he was just a bootlegger.
Who? Eclectic? Calamity is a good word. It's
Calamity
a goddamn
is.
calamity.
What did I say? I said something retro like that today. Forget what it was though.
Yeah, calamity's retro? Probably.
Yeah.
He could save others from timeouts, but not himself. Who is that?
What
Jeebus.
happened?
Schadenfreude. Calamity. Yeah, calamity is a great word. And
It's not a story the other moderators would tell us. Well, then we have to hear it, Hambone, because we trust you. Is it Nicolas Shea? That's great because it sounds like it's a Star Wars reference.
there's a lot of words that I like. I like the word persnickety. That's a good
That
word.
is a good word.
I like the word concretize.
Sundered. Asunder.
Asunder. Yeah, asunder's good. Or sundries.
Sundries, yeah.
Meaning
that
like
is nice.
various
Pleasant.
things.
Yeah,
What type do I
everyone
think
says
Jason is?
sundries. It's such a 4 Enneagram word.
I'm not sure what
Sundries.
Jason is. When I did a quick 10-minute typing of him, I typed him as ENTP, but I don't. After debating him, I didn't think he was ENTP, but I don't know. The answer to that is I don't know. I was listening to Rachel make a video earlier today. Not make a video. Listen to a video earlier. I was listening to a video she was listening to earlier today.
Yeah.
And it talked about, it gave a quick type description of each of the types and then gave some example celebrities or characters who were examples of the type.
Yeah.
And they were totally wrong about like,
that's why I
half
wanted
of
to
them.
listen to him.
It makes me want to make
him.
one of those things.
Exactly!
With some
Thank you.
pictures, some still photos or
Yes,
something.
because
you know?
it makes me so pissed off. Because some of them are right?
Right, some are right.
Some of them are, and then some of them aren't, and it makes people confused. Like me.
Concupiscent.
You came into my life for so many reasons.
Concupiscent.
He's my conquistador.
What's concupiscent mean? I've never heard that word before.
Me neither. I think I see worms.
Quiescent. What does quiescent mean? Means plywood.
Oh.
How do you say it?
Concupiscent.
Concupiscent.
Oh, Cupid.
Concupiscent. I am concupiscent. That's what
I
you
am
should.
concupiscent.
That's what you should have said earlier today to me, Rachel.
I'm
Concupiscent.
concupiscent.
Yes.
I'm concupiscent.
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 Concupiscence is an ardent,
Concupiscent.
usually sensual longing. Involuntary sexual arousal is
Leo.
explored in the Confessions of Augustine,
I'm so
wherein he used the term concupiscence to refer to sinful lust.
Concupiscent.
Sinful
I'm
lust?
so concupiscent for you.
Listen, Rachel, your concupiscence for me is not a sin. I want to make that very clear.
Thank
You
you.
don't have to listen to the Catholics about that.
Thanks.
Succulent and moist.
Yeah. You know what? I'm pretty moist. I have a lot of mucus going on. I have coughage. I have stuff in my nose and stuff in my ears. A lot of moisture because I haven't cried. Damn it!
I like the
Crap!
word.
Damn it!
I like the words. Tenderness discharge. Don't get
That's
that
what
on
it
you.
is.
Don't get that on you.
It is.
That's my tenderness discharge.
It is my tenderness discharge. Yep. And in COVID, a time like this, I have a lot of.
Hi, Choco Cat.
Kitty's here.
Hi, Choco Cat. Hi, what's another one of those? What's another one of those characters from Hello Kitty? Besides Choco Cat and Hello Kitty.
No one needed to know, but I wanted you to know.
What did she want you to know? I don't know.
I
I don't remember what you
did
said.
not-
Oh, you had to
the
poo.
phlegm.
Oh, also
I
you
do
have to poo. You want to go poo? I'll still be here when you return.
Cool.
Just don't poo in my shoe. Last time, what did you do? You left your poo in my
Allergies,
shoe.
you know?
Then I put it
When,
on. Yeah.
So what are they saying about the weather?
They're saying lots of overcast with drama and a
Maybe lightning?
forecast of drama hail balls.
Really?
Drama rain droplets and drama snowflakes. Drama blizzard.
We're not driving in that.
Okay, we'll just ignore it.
Well,
then.
no, we can. No, I mean we can definitely have fun in it.
The drama blizzard?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to mostly just say, hey, drama.
Talk to my hand because the face don't get it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like-
just minding my own business here. What the hell?
I think I see worms.
I'm sure you do.
I really.
I bet
love them.
I'm massively worm endowed at the moment.
Can I put that clay on you?
If you want to, sure. It's a drama drizzle. I wipe back to front usually. But that's I usually do. But the thing is-
it's a rhyme.
Look,
Oh,
I can do that because I'm so gangly. It's like
Yeah.
there's if you're a chick, you should wipe front to back because
Yeah.
otherwise you wipe poop into your bag.
Yes.
Okay, it's just my
Did-
email
did-
address. It's
did-
PayPal, same email address. And just name me your time slot and your day. My schedule's pretty wide open. Or our weddings be invite only? Well, you'll be invited, Hambone.
Of course. Okay.
I haven't thought about it, Hambone. He might be, Cloud. We'll see. We'll see.
Now you look like you're like Naruto.
I sit. This is worm pulling. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I want just to get the spots. Okay.
There. Now, my nose is gray. For a long time, I've said the problem with my nose is that it's not gray enough. Well, now we've remedied that.
So, for 10 minutes.
We've gone over 10 minutes. And then we're going to do a
Squidward.
we're going to do a very slow reveal as I slowly peel it off, and you're going to see
Yes.
how many years have just dropped away.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. For real. So many
This-
years drop away.
You want to talk about a renewing serum that really works, okay? Girls, ladies, women, friends, a lot of you out there have tried a lot of these serums, a lot of these products, you know, a lot of these moisturizing,
Ew.
these things that claim to take years off your life.
It smells.
This literally takes years off of your life. Like, you will die years sooner.
I'm gonna do 11 for
That's
good
right,
luck.
Cloud. I'm actually still in my 40s, but right now I look like I'm in my 60s. Why? Well, it's because my nose has stuff in its pores. That's why.
His skin is beautiful. It really is. But this is just an example. I actually wanted to show mine the other day, but I did not. It's clay. It is clay. It's like charcoal mask. Remember when on Facebook they used to be really big, these black masks, and be like, rip it off and you get all the gunk out. Well, it works.
Oh, yeah, it does. Let me show you. You see how wrinkly my face is, right? And kind of oily and gross looking, right? Well, my stomach used to be like that. But now look how clean and shiny it is. Why? Because I've been putting mask all over my body all the time. See that? That's what my face is gonna look like. It's gonna look just like that. You want to talk about kissably fresh?
Yeah, it's true.
Ooh-wee.
He
You
knows
cannot
what he's
get enough
talking
of that. So
Aww.
the thing is, what I do is I get a big vat of this shit normally, and I just dip my whole body into it. I just get completely
Yeah.
undressed and just pull out, and then Rachel's got to dig a hole from my mouth and my nose so I can breathe, and then she just leaves me until I turn absolutely stiff, like I can't move at all. And then she'll come with a hammer and tap me very gently and all.
That's where they got the idea for Morty, actually, and Rick. I said Morty.
There's one other thing
Mud
I'm
does do wonders, actually.
There's another thing I'm doing right now that does wonders. It's called I'm using fire.
That's funny.
You want to apply the eyelash serum to your left nipple hairs, and now it's more hair than the right one? Good thinking.
It,
Nicolai.
it works.
Good
That
thinking.
stuff works.
That is some good thinking.
Yeah.
Boy, did that need to be done. I was always saying, why is there so few hairs around your nipple here?
The mud.
That's why you enjoyed living in a swamp for over a year. Swamp mud's the best.
Yeah, so mom is the
If
best.
you can submerge yourself in swamp mud for a full year, the years are gonna just drop right off of your skin. It's gonna be like you're a newborn baby.
Oh my gosh, I totally need to whip it right now. Please, could you help me?
Oh, you want one of those? Sure.
Yeah. I think while we wait.
I could go for one of these too. I haven't
Cool.
had one in quite a while now.
I want this to be extra, so I think we're making 15 minutes instead of 10.
Oh, we're gonna let this thing really sink in there.
Yeah, I want it to.
It's gonna
You
grab.
can really see actually like the holes.
I can feel it grabbing the worms and yanking them out of their holes
Wow.
with what you might call reckless abandon.
Does Kitty have to go to the bathroom?
I think there might be an animal out here.
Oh,
I heard some noise.
did you?
Just the neighbors.
Oh. That's cute.
Just a couple of wild neighbors sweeping in their backyard. So anyway, the thing about this mud is, listen, don't think you can just go in your own backyard and get any old mud and rub it on your face and have it work out.
Mm-hmm.
It is a special mud. This mud we got from the mud flats of Kalamazoo, where the special energies of the location and the special suck out the worm properties are built into the very soil itself.
It's a detoxifying charcoal peel-off mask. Yes to your favorite LBM little black mask with detoxifying charcoal to peel away impurities for clear skin. 97% natural ingredients.
If you think this is just detoxifying, you're lying to yourself. It's refreshing, invigorating, renewing, revitalizing, and constitution enhancing. I'm gonna have, but the score of my constitution score of my nose is gonna gain like 2 points after this. It was at 16. It's gonna go to 18. Well, I mean, I'm not doing this particular weapon, but I will be one in a second.
I'm learning. Bateman
No, Neil
is
Strauss
Jason
not
Bateman
related
your
to
spirit
this.
animal? That's a pretty good spirit animal. He does pretty well for himself. He's average. It's nice to be average in Hollywood. You can still do stuff and not get filmed all the time.
You want to hold it yourself?
Okay.
I'll do one next. This is the thing. Nick Lachey, I started last night's live stream. I'm going to repeat what I said then. I am proving with my decision yesterday to get whippets, that I truly am the eternal man-child. Yes, I am the archetypal eternal man-child. 49 years old and still doing whippets. I mean, it's been ages since I've done them, is the thing. When's the last time I got whippets? I can't even fucking remember. You know, they're the sort of thing when you walk in and you go, oh, you guys got whippets? How much are those?
That's sweet.
You know.
Sorry, Kitty. I didn't mean to scare you.
These aren't the kind of whippets that are dogs.
My voice gets very low
Yeah,
when
it is.
see, I'm Don Draper. I'm very important. I make decisions for myself because I'm a man. Don't tell me what to do. Penises mean sausage, and sausages are meat, and meat are for food, and food is consumed by felines, and felines have fangs.
Meat is for food. Okay, I'm going to
Meat is for food.
do one of these myself now.
Ooh, can we sing Siddhartha to the song Whippets?
Yeah, well, hold on a second. I'll put it on a second.
Cool. Siddhartha. Such lungs. I am so impressed. I'm so impressed.
Siddhartha sedate. Siddhartha sigh. My lungs have made my voice go much lower than it normally would be. I like them, but you can never do just one or two. Well, that's why they call it hippie
No, you
crack.
can't. Yeah.
Thing is,
Like, I definitely do want another one.
I'm gonna do another one.
Okay,
I'll give
so
you another
what's
one.
wrong
I'll do
with
it.
you?
Yeah,
I mean, it's Saturday, right?
I actually don't get too into.
Oh,
like,
Vader. We could do Vader.
Rachel's a little bit more into than me, but because I think like, after
Oh,
I do,
because
like,
I've never, like I didn't experience it as a kid. I tried it myself once.
well, I think it's because after like I do about 2 of them, I
Headache.
start to get a headache.
Yo, I don't like the headaches either.
So that's when I
I'm
stop
telling
doing
you,
them,
yeah, I
you know?
don't. But I like it for the little. Oh, I'm sorry.
You love
Hear
Lucas
this
get too
little
much no
laugh.
self-control, almost kill yourself with them.
That's life.
That's a little bit hardcore with
That's
the weather
so
these days. On black.
Dom.
Yeah, I one time was at a show, like a rave or something, and did too much at somebody had a tank, right?
I want to hear the story.
And oops, I forgot about this. I accidentally started doing that.
Wait. It's okay.
You
Oh,
got
you
it?
did?
Oh, you got it?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I pushed it lower.
Go ahead.
Where did you mess it
I
up?
just messed up a little bit right there.
Oh, it's okay.
Not too bad though.
No.
So anyway, yeah, they had a tank, and I did like several of them, and I just fucking just passed the fuck out, like onto the cement, you know, like.
Ow! Boom.
Gotta
Did
be
you go to
careful with those
hospital?
things.
ER?
No, I was fine.
See, ENTP do not do as they do.
Don't do as I do, right?
No.
The thing is, I'm careful about what I say, though.
Yeah,
It's like I will. No, but regarding this stuff, I won't lead people astray in terms of what they should or shouldn't do. You know.
True.
So
I
I'll
always
be like,
that.
oh, that's fine. I do
True.
much. I'll say you better not do nearly as much.
You're
as this, 'cause,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and I learned.
Hurry up and do that.
I like to take.
It's this
my
space.
Let's do it at the same time then.
We only have one balloon.
Overlap. Oh yeah.
Blow it out. Blow all your air first.
Thanks.
Now go. I don't think Luke's an ENFJ. I largely agree with the rest of those, though. I think.
Hello. Ooh. So Darth a day. Ooh. Hi. Ooh, I'm in the ringing.
What? You're in wom, 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 wom,
Wom,
wom.
wom, wom,
Um,
wom. What would Yoda be?
I mean, more or less, sort of. Winston's mom.
I've heard that he's INFP, but I've heard ISTP. I don't know. Luke is INFP.
Yeah, I don't think it's good to do whippets in general. Winston's mom.
No.
But the thing is, I don't do them very often.
Also-
in fact, I mean, almost never.
If you're holding us accountable for stuff, I'm going to be holding you accountable for my birth chart information stuff.
Rachel's not hold that accountable.
I'm just saying.
She's just a little
I
worried.
am.
Little
That's
worried,
how I am.
You know? Okay.
That's how I am.
Okay.
I'm never that serious. I'm a 7, fucker.
Okay.
Jeez.
Okay. Jesus.
Mhm.
ISTP for Yoda, I think.
Yeah, I do too. I
I
do
do
too.
too.
Yeah.
I think Cloud's
I'm
really
not,
good.
and I'm not being serious really with like you guys, like at all. I can act as a bitch really well. I think it's my one on my I mean in real life I could act like a bitch is, you know, when I don't get sleep. Yes. It's almost time for your nose peeling adventure. That's a date. Oh no. It is. Is it true? Luke, are you my father? Is it true? Yeah, he's got the wonks. I can tell. It's going wonk in his head.
I got the winkety wonks.
Aww.
And what's the last one?
Yeah. No, there's one more. This one didn't get used either.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it together.
All right. Well, I will set you up with this one. And then I'm gonna-
INFJ for Obi-Wan in the more recent ones, right? That's what we said, not in the older ones.
I think the original, the OG Obi-Wan is an INFJ.
Yeah.
I think the episodes 1, 2, 3 Obi-Wan is an ISFJ.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, when I first saw the original, I was like, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It spoke to me. I think if
he
Obi-Wan
really behaves
wasn't
a
in that,
lot differently. He really does.
If,
So if you think that, then you're not accounting for changes in data.
if Obi-Wan Kenobi wasn't an INFJ, I don't think I would have liked Star Wars. That's like honest truth right there.
This one's busted open.
I'm sorry.
So I think there's just one left there. You have one right
Yeah.
there? Or is this one? This is popped. This is popped. So this is the last one. You can have it. It's fine.
Oh.
It's
Why
totally
don't we
fine. I don't want it.
share?
No, I don't want it. You have it. Fine. You want to hold it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That one's all cash. Then we can take this thing off of my meow. These are the two of the same phone. Gold by Spandau Ballet. I'm not familiar with that.
I wonder if you can do whippets in the army. Bet you can.
You can do whippets in the army.
Yeah, I bet you could do. I bet you.
I'm gonna take this thing off.
I bet you. In the armies, they did whippets.
All right, this thing's starting to itch my nose.
Yeah, peel it off.
All right, there we go. What you're gonna see here in this reveal.
Wait, don't up it too much and then it fall to.
No, it's gonna
crash.
be literally decades taken off of my life.
Literally.
I look like I was 5 years old.
Ew. Oh my god! Does it feel so good though?
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Yeah! Oh my god.
I can't see if there's worms on it or not.
Oh. Wait. I guess I'll either. The shiny side is. Ooh, I can feel. Oh my god.
No, Jedi are good and Siths are bad.
Yeah,
Okay, Claude?
always.
You can't balance the dark side and the light side. You have to choose one, not the other one. God, don't you know that? He killed Padme. No, don't kill Padme.
I'm staring at your pores.
Now you killed Padme. How terrible was that? I said, don't kill Padme, and then you went and killed her. God.
Oh my god. I don't know. It doesn't take out your worms, but it definitely does like help your skin. I could see like
Yeah, I look like. Oh.
fuck yeah.
I literally look like.
Hell yeah. Like oh my god.
15, 16 years old?
Yeah, I would say so too. Like
You
that
just
would be
look at
like
my
the
nose,
midpoint
you
of
just
like
look
the
right here.
number. Yeah.
It's like.
Your zenith.
Oh. It's like, I literally.
Oh my god, I love looking at this.
Return to the moment of my birth.
I love it severely.
Jedis can be a little bit self-righteous and extremely stubborn. Well, hey, don't question the Force, Mister. Don't question.
Oh my
the Force,
god, I
okay?
fucking love this.
Don't
so
question
much.
the light side of the Force. It's the good side. Side that rejects hatred and anger. Okay, just like Naruto.
Wow. Yeah, just like Naruto. I want to help them. Yamato. In my fan fiction,
Uh-huh.
Yamato and Tsunade get together because I think they should.
So Rey wasn't a cultist like the Jedi. She preserved her passion and anger.
I didn't see the last one.
I didn't see really much, you know. So I mean, so do schools, Cloud. I mean, so do schools in conventional times. They take children against their will, force them to stay in a room and listen to somebody boring tell them nonsense.
Yeah, stupid. Where's mine? It's 11:11, or it was. Sorry, bye.
Obi-Wan wanted someone to bring balance to the Force. That was Rey. She balanced dark and light. Oh, she did, huh?
My nose is pretty oily.
It's true. Harvard's not shitting you. They won't mention it, but a lot of what they sell you is past the due date, past the sell-by date.
Damn.
Those bananas have spots on them.
It's a pyramid. It's a pyramid scheme, guys. Be careful.
Well, you can't use the Force to get a divorce. That's what they always say in Jedi school. That's not a legal method of attaining divorce.
That's fair, right? Because
It's
you could
fair.
use mind control, and that's not right.
Well, it's like, a lot of Jedis, what they do is they use their power to make their wife pick up a pen.
Yeah, and
Sign
sign
there,
something,
sign
or
there.
even you could use your fucking
Mind control.
yeah, mind control.
What are you timing?
Stop. That it was for
For the mask.
Yeah. We got a lot done, I feel.
Having the Force. Not everybody has the Force.
No.
Flesh and blood. You got to be special. From one of the ruling families. Like the Skywalkers or the Palpatines.
Wow, there's so many.
I guess it's a bad time to maybe wrap this up.
I was just gonna say that whippet made me tired. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, that seems kind of take it out of you, huh?
In a good way.
Yeah. Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Sit on the side, what's impossible to do? Watch it on the drive, the dark doesn't down. Sit on the street, in that moment he released the mysteries he did not relate. Sit on his mind, what would come to the dark, the not winning try. Now watch what he makes. Sit on the seams, to accompany his greatest waking dreams. The death of the royal, not his life, the death of the royal. Had it right, the death of a coil. At the sight, said Arthur Satan. Said Arthur, where are you now?
Nice.
The fantasy,
Okay.
it's action of the right in front of me. And what would I say? Said Arthur, it's impossible to watch it on the try. Said Arthur, sit down. Said Arthur, please. Would you just complete your sentence? Will you retrieve your functional gate? You'll find it right.
Can I get your
Responsible now.
kiss from where like you exhale into my mouth? I forget what that's called.
Called girlfriend box.
Yeah.
It's cleaning up pretty nicely,
Yeah, it is.
but I think it's a little too fast. All right, here we go.
Like neutrals. Yeah, all the other are neutrals. They wear beige. They all have the same color hair. Ooh, we did a nice one. Thank you, baby.
Thanks.
I love you.
I love you too.
Oh.
Just a thigh. It should be called. Just a thigh, or half Jedi, half Sith.
This dude, you right here? Yes, what are you? Sadithai?
Sadithai.
Yeah, you are. I love you. I'll see you in bed.
I'll see you soon.
Okay.
No, I am not just a thigh. I'm Jedi. I'm one of those people who, would you say, choose the side of good over the side of evil, rather than trying to balance the two, which is silly. I haven't seen all the Star Warses. I saw the 4, 5, 6, obviously, when they came out back in the day. They were so like, oh, I love this so much, you know. My dad really liked it a lot. We would go to the drive-in movie theater to watch it. The first one, anyway. I saw it like 8 times in the drive-in. The thing is, Cloud, everybody eventually ends up making a choice one way or the other in life. You know, it's normal and fine for people to emerge from youth with some bit of gray in them. Not clear whether they're moral relativists, whether they're moral absolutists, whether they think that there's some, post-moral ethics like Cloud thinks or something, but whatever it is, at some point you come to clarity that, you know, well, no, Cloud, it's not true that both sides are two extremes. The good is the absence of evil. And the presence of justification. But see, the Force is not a matter of order and chaos. It's a matter of hatred and the absence thereof. Those are the two force vectors, not order and chaos. So as a consequence, you're talking not about the realities of ordering and entropic force vectors that are sort of morally neutral. You're talking about the normative vectors of good and evil. Obviously, on that dichotomy, you must choose the good actively. It's not adequate to try to avoid the question or be a moral relativist or some sort of centrist or middle grounder. Well, Jason Blood, that's because it just appeared to shoot at that beam. It was actually coming from behind the planet, and the planet actually had a hole through the middle of it, and it actually just passed right through. That's why it didn't move it. It's an optical illusion. Like Hambone's mom's face, also an optical illusion. Okay, but look, is it the case, Cloud, that conquerors are intending to sow chaos necessarily? Because a lot of conquerors would claim, anyway, to be trying to attain peace or empire that will make things more orderly. It's like the Germans in World War II. They might have sown chaos everywhere they went with their militarism, but they were seeking to implement a very orderly society. So, I'd agree that order and chaos don't link clearly to good and evil. But I would point out that good and evil are a distinct vector that we can make why would you say that shit? No. That's not cool. Christian smells like poo? If you say so, Christian. I mean, I agree, but it doesn't make them. I agree with you, Cloud, that I agree with you that centralized power and control are generally anti. They run afoul of the interests of the individual and individual rights and individualism in general. I mean, in North Korea, there's lots of order. But it creates a very chaotic life for the people, I guess you could say. It's interesting that Nono and Christian went there. I'm not sure why they would go there. It seems like it loses them the frame entirely, kind of, you know? It's like, oh, or are you like sink into that? I mean, you're not going to win any arguments that way, right? You're not going to be perceived as legitimate in your argumentation with that shit. It's, I mean, the thing about it is, I don't think anybody's offended. I'm not offended by it. I'm just thinking, huh, that's such a poor choice. I wonder why. Empire is a means to an end, not the end. Well, what do you think the end is? Cloud. What do you think the actual desired outcome is if empire is the means? I mean, you could say that conquering is the means to empire. Okay, so what's the empire the means to? If conquering is the means to empire, what's empire the means to? So centralized control is the end. Centralizing power in the hands of one person. Rebels created chaos to no, they didn't do anything hideable. Don't get over don't go overboard. Doesn't matter if I know the person's got ill will, they still have to cross certain lines, you know, to get hidden. I mean, I guess that would cross the line, sort of. It's right on the edge. It's a tough call. Christian clown face. Where the Jedi often sold you expired produce, the Empire would provide unnecessary and overpriced security. Right. Yeah, exactly. Clown snake. Who are you calling a clown and a snake? Me? Jason Blood? I mean, you can't engage honestly with everybody here. You just can't sustain it, can you? You're just full of spite. Chock full of spite. You're looking at it too 3D, Hambone. Oh, Cloud. Of course it is. What else would you call it, you know? What else could you possibly call it besides, like, if I organize my shit, I'm using order to accomplish more ease in my life, right? That's just not a strange or large or unusual claim to make. You know, it's like, that's pretty much like, you know, yeah, the sun does come up usually in the morning, most places. It's kind of, why are you getting those fucking action on my phone? I don't remember requesting a bunch of action on my phone. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Besides, this is like a form of masturbation to relief rage or boredom or some other feeling loose on an unexpected magazine person to them who is live streaming. Well, I mean, the thing is, it never catches me by surprise. I can always sort of tell when somebody comes in right off the bat how suspicious they are. Sometimes I'm wrong, but not always. I like to give people a chance, you know? The thing is, if you get somebody who's spiteful, you're also getting somebody who's fundamentally weak because they can't engage with you honestly as a human being, or else they can't sustain their spite, you know? So they've got to try some sort of deceit, you know? They have no idea what they say could mean something to someone, cause true pain or anguish, or make someone yawn because they are not original in their own thoughts. Well, I mean, I think the point is that what makes somebody spiteful, the definition of spite, and what makes it objectionable to be spiteful is spiteful people engage in behaviors with the intent to harm. And that's their desired outcome. If somebody's determined to cause you harm because they are spiteful towards you, then what that means is, you know, often they'll feel as though some injustice has been done, but really probably means they've lost and they haven't learned how to lose graciously. I think that 7-Eleven incident happened precisely because it gave me an opportunity to go, okay, Eric, well, you just lost here and you need to walk the narrow path and acknowledge to yourself that you lost, that you were wrong, that you embarrassed yourself, you know. Now, granted, it's not as much of a pride tweak as if I had to go talk to that person directly again and say, you know what, my bad. But I would do that if I encountered them. You know, I'd have to, because I make choices. I don't just allow myself to be carried along by I guess the dark side of the force, I can understand a circumstance, have certain doors closed on certain people without holding any ill will in my heart towards them. Periodically I might make a little jab or something, but it makes life interesting in part, It's kind of cool that I've got this dedicated group of haters sort of keep me honest, I guess, in a way. But providing the necessary foil in explaining things in general. Like, well, how one ought to be, how one ought not be. You need an example of both, and the world has decided to provide me of them, I got examples from my own life, how I ought not be. I share those as well. But, somebody who tries to walk a narrow path, I try not to have a lot of instances to talk about of me behaving as I ought not to have. So, I think the basic rage that the spite monkeys maintain towards me, it stems from the fact that I'm not susceptible in general to any threat of exposure. Like, oh, I'm going to tell everybody, yeah, go ahead. And some people really don't like that. If you've got shit to hide, if you're somebody who can't even dream about being honest without having to explain a lot of shit that's not very, if you've been up to some shady shit, for example, then somebody like me is going to be, I guess, very distressing,
Ooh.
I love you, darling.
I love you too.
Do I think that people who hang on to a grudge also go to the same restaurants and order the exact same meal? Not necessarily. Maybe somewhat. Do I think that there is a correlation between holding on to grudges and SI? I mean, I don't know. It boils down to the same thing I always say it boils down to. Are you capable of objective self-criticism or not? Are you able to be honest and fair, even to your enemies, or not? That's what it boils down to. I'm honest about and fair towards even my enemies because I'm constrained by positive moral indications as well as negative moral indications. And I try to walk a narrow path. I'm not always perfect, but I'm trying to be a better person all the time, The thing is, when I quit drinking, there was this part of Alcoholics Anonymous that was about when you are wrong, promptly admit it and make amends where necessary. This is something that I always did even before I got into Alcoholics Anonymous. My sponsor didn't believe me when I told him that's something I already do all the time. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell them that shit. And then over time they go, oh, if you really are like that, Yeah, I really am like that. I've always been like that. I was not raised in a house where I was allowed to be dishonest to myself or anybody else in the house about what was going on. My dad would just call it out for what it was, you know? So I learned to be proactive in anticipating possible critiques, getting ahead of it, so to speak, preventing it or getting ahead of it in language. Yeah, people, yeah, that's right. NTPs do that. NFJs can do that too. Rachel and I have the same meal over and over again. Now that you mention it, if you ask me if I was somebody who had the same meal over and over again, I would say no. I eat lots of different meals. But the fact is, no, I do have the same meal over and over again. I eat McDonald's all the time. I get the same thing all the time. So, only grudge is like holding a hot piece of coal with the full intention of throwing, but never actually throwing. Yeah. Hi, King Krishna Sarma Pagoo. How's it going? I hear you're made out of cheese. Indian cheese. That's true. I can choose a diverse meal plan. It doesn't change anything about my type. There's been times in my life when I ate a lot more different foods. Like when I was living in Laverne, I ate a lot of different meals. Now I eat mostly the same meal. So, of course, being ENTP means that I'm naturally going to be less consistent in those kind of things across time than somebody who's maybe more SI. But it depends. You think all personality disorders stem from accountability avoidance syndrome? Yeah, I do. Well, I think they all only manifest in insofar as there's comorbidity. There's comorbidity with accountability avoidance because those kind of antisocial behaviors that are implicit in personality disorders cannot persist in an environment in a self that has a healthy ontological immune system. A healthy ontological immune system is one that engages in some manner of objective self-criticism that looks to see where one can hold oneself responsible and where one might be wrong and so forth in a healthy way. Now, this thing gets overblown, and some people get criticized too much and are always second guessing themselves because they've not been raised in the right kind of environment. And so the point is, for people who weren't raised in the right kind of environment or who didn't have an opportunity to manage humility correctly, it's like you've got to be humbled in ways that preserve your dignity so you can learn how to be humbled successfully. And if you never got humbled in ways that preserve your dignity, then you never know how to be humbled in a dignified fashion. And if your ego is determined to maintain your dignity at all costs, which can happen when you're third slot FE, and you can go down the wrong path and end up like Nekio Lines, Yeah, it's like my parents required me to be humbled by reality often enough, but they did so in a way that preserved my fundamental dignity and sense of self-worth and so forth. If you weren't raised in a family where you learned to trust that process of self-checking of the healthy ontological immune system, then if people in your life try to rip and tear at your dignity, then you're going to be probably averse to hearing any kind of critique and assume it's ill-intentioned, because if that's what you're accustomed to, if that's what you grew up with, you learned to not trust people's critiques. Schizoid is not the same thing. Schizoid is basically underdeveloped frontal cortex plus NTP. I think I would correctly have been diagnosed with schizoid when I was 18, in the sense that I didn't understand how. I thought, well, like, if everybody around me just would have died, like my parents never died, then I wouldn't care. I'd just, whatever, I was dead and just get new people around. It's like, I thought shit like that when I was 18, 19. I realized I was never actually like that. It was, instead, I hadn't experienced the kind of jarring thing that would jar adequately in my FI to make me realize that I actually cared a great deal, I agree Innie is very chaotic, and I agree that Jedis having an expert intuition is contraindicative of being a good Jedi, because it requires a lot of sort of NISE shit, That's true. Just because someone critiques someone does not mean they are objective or have your best interest at heart. So the thing about this is, this matter of accountability avoidance disorder is more complicated than just that. It's to be fully realized regarding matters of accountability is not only to be willing to critique yourself, but to be accurate about critiquing yourself, which means being fair to yourself too. So that means you got to kind of get rid of the false modesty. And there's a tendency, if you're in certain contexts, there can be a tendency, as it was for me, to overuse objective self-criticism because it seemed to work so well. It was the perfect way to deal with any kind of thing, because you could always use it in the immediate to gain sort of long-term improvement. You can then you sort of reference that instance in the future to show that you are in fact fair, and there's lots and lots of things going on. So the thing is, accountability avoidance syndrome ultimately comes down to this: do you double down when you're wrong? How bad is your tendency to double down when you're wrong? We all have a tendency sometimes, especially if we're like an 8, maybe a Negro or something, to double down when you're wrong. What do I mean by doubling down when you're wrong? So, like, if Kimberly used to say something mean to me, and I'd say, "Hey, that's not nice. That's not mean. That's mean what you said to me. Why? Please don't do that." And instead of saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. My bad. I'll try to not do that," she would double down and she'd be like, "You're so sensitive." Say something else mean, right? It's like, okay, don't double down when you're wrong. Rule number 1 of accountability avoidance syndrome is always double down when you're wrong. So, I think second slot is a thing that you're most likely to be accused of, or to actually be overusing or using in inappropriate spots. So it's like I read these out loud one time in a live stream, some liner notes written by Donald Fagen, and they were so ridiculously unnecessarily wordy. It was just like, ay. Talk about NI countervalued. It's like, you figure all this shit out that I'm saying here. It's just She's just thrilled with his own cleverness, you know. The thing is, I can be like that too, but I'm more likely to use TI in spots when I should use FI. So if you are FI polar like me and you are facing certain kinds of critiques that aren't fair, aren't justified, that are fundamentally an FI assault, but that don't necessarily fail any immediate TI test, you can be susceptible to taking a lot of abuse if you're FI polar on the grounds that, well, you're going to try to find what the legitimate critique here is, and so forth. I feel like people just start throwing ad hominem and attacking your personality instead of focusing on the argument. Yeah. You know, the thing is, I'd say I have, and I'm continuing to make progress on my my mood management. I can be calm, and I don't need to. I was really upset at myself with the WSS debate. I was very upset after that argument with Jack because, like, you know, if I were to have a debate with anybody right now, it would be very calm and civil, and there would be no problems. I would feel happy with myself no matter what at the end of it, because I'm confident I wouldn't get upset. I'd stay on point. I wouldn't get frustrated. I'd stop trying to do all the work and let my opponent or the person I'm talking to's mistakes work against them on their own without me getting agreement, so to speak. Stuff like that. Don't say that, Cloud. I'm going to remove that. That's like, that seems YouTube iffy. I'm going to remove that comment. ENTP versus ESFJ. Yeah, that's a funny one too. Is apparently I'm deemed a. Well, that's what I'm saying. Bacon. I was very disappointed with myself after debating him. See, this is the problem, Bannerman. This is why I don't really like to argue about personality type stuff. I was in a mood, I was in a mood. There are some people in which I can actually have an exchange of ideas. Other people, I won't be party to that, Nobody wants to beat anybody up, for God's sakes. So maybe Cloud. Cloud might want to beat. So make Cloud and Christian. Okay. Okay, but look, can't Christian aren't for good. I don't want to engage in a lot of conversations, so-called conversations about cognitive functions that are just going to muddy the reality of things. As was indicated by the WWS debate. Jack spent the whole time dissembling and on defense and trying to avoid making any actual progress because he was defending his ground rather than trying to attain outcomes with the discourse. I don't want to do adversarial discourse about cognitive functions because it's always going to just muddy shit. If somebody wants to do real meaningful discourse about it, fine, but that's not going to be Socionics versus Host Eric. Socionics doesn't even know what the fuck is talking about. It's like I'm providing a metaframe. There's nothing else is operating within this metaframe. And the only thing that within a validating metaframe, an external validating metaframe. So it's like I don't even want to bother. No, I mean, I'll make all of my arguments. What I'm saying is, I'm not going to negate other people's shit because it's so poorly put together that it doesn't even afford anybody, it doesn't present criteria by which it can be invalidated. The thing is, my explanation is perfectly fine. If you got a counter explanation, address the same basic things I'm saying. Okay, so are we talking about information actually moving between fields here or what? Some people like it, some people hate it, Bacon. I was very depressed after it. And that's the thing. It's like, my point is, it doesn't matter who won. Obviously, some people are going to say, well, Jack won because you were so aggressive. I mean, by any sort of official debate, by any sort of official debate metric, obviously I won because he was on defense the whole time. He had no offense on the floor. So even if most of the points he managed to wash out, I still would have won the round, But whatever, it doesn't matter is the point. The point is, that's exactly what I didn't want to have happen. There are lots of different models. Socionics, four different versions of Socionics Model A. There's Miaz and there's CS. What I'm saying is, I am not going to pretend as though, no, it doesn't matter who won, because I'm not going to pretend as though I'm playing the same game as these people. I'm not. I have a real set of arguments that has within it, it has built into it a frame by which you and anybody else can invalidate it. So in other words, it's something real. These other things are not real like that. There's no understanding of what it is they are trying to be. So it's impossible to say whether they're successful at being it. Kodo, my answer explains the answer to that question, right? Because they don't know themselves how they're measuring whether they themselves are successful. I can't test their thing against that. In contrast, I know what I'm trying to do. So you can see if I've done it correctly or not. You can check that. I can tell you what I'm trying to do, so you can see if I've successfully done it or not. See? That's why I don't care if I lost the debate or won the debate or whatever, because the point is, Kodo, we both lost because he forced it into an adversarial thing that muddied rather than clarified. I'm not interested in some sort of ego gratification of winning a debate. Obviously, to the extent that anybody was going to judge that as a debate round, I destroyed him. But that's not the point, is what I'm saying. If we're focused on that, we're focused on the wrong thing. If they aren't telling me, if we're saying who's better accomplished goal X, and goal X is personality description or something. Okay, so I'm saying, how do you determine whether or not you've done a good job of explaining personality with your model, explaining cognitive functions? What does it mean for you to succeed under your own understanding of things? You have no idea what it means. So why would I bother wasting my time debating these people? Yeah, they've got a basketball in their hands and they're running around with it. It doesn't mean they're playing basketball. Meanwhile, I'm a professional basketball player. So they're playing like, they're still figuring out it matters whether you dribble or not. There's a thing called traveling. It's like they don't have any concepts of what they're doing. So, well, I mean, if Spacey thinks that, he's welcome to think that. I mean, I think it dramatically weakens his own position as somebody who knows what he's talking about. Because if you think I'm an ISFJ, you don't know anything about typology at all. You know, I dated an ISFJ, the last person I was with. I've been married to an ESFJ. What were those people if I'm an ISFJ or an ESFJ? You got Becky saying I'm an ESFJ. Space saying I'm an ISFJ. Whatever we do, we can't let Eric be an ENTP. Oh my God, you fucking people. Jesus Christ. It's like, talk about grasping for straws. I'm an ISFJ. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say that ISFJs are very attracted to ideation, extrovert intuition. So it makes sense that there'd be a lot of things that look like extrovert intuition on my channel. I'm collecting them, I guess. That you can tell I'm SI because I smoke, for example. That's a very SI thing. It's constantly being attuned to your own experience. But I talk a lot about my sleeping and my eating and my pooping and my peeing and stuff like that. You know, I talk a lot about SI and that my FE is too good for third slot, I guess. But of course, the thing is, it's not that I got all these fucking haters, right? I got all these haters because my FE is not that good now. And here's my response to them, you know? What ISFJ consistently, like Spacey saying, he thinks might be an ISFJ now. Except he's never won an argument with me. And he's an INTP, right? Whereas now he an ISFP or something. It's just everybody gets mush. I've known I was an INTP from the fucking first day I discovered personality types, which is just MBTI types back in my early 30s. I read the type descriptions. I was like, that's me, obviously. That explains why I've been like this my whole life. What's going on with me, you know? My oldest friend, the friend I've had since I was 3 and he was 7, 4 years older than me, but we're still best friends for long years, many years. He's an ISFJ. Now, if I'm an ISFJ, why am I so different from him? And what type is he? You know, my mom, ISFJ. If I'm an ISFJ, what the fuck was she? Because I'm so different from her. You know? Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that if you're ignoring the obvious fact that I also have hundreds of songs uploaded, freestyle songs, I'm live streaming constantly. If I'm so focused on the past with my SI, why am I constantly making new stuff all the time? Why am I ideating out loud as my regular form of release of my tension and stuff? Why do I have to talk everything out loud? Why am I so abstract? Why have I generated my own very complex and successful explanation of cognitive functions that vastly surpasses anybody else's? If I'm an ISFJ, where did all this ideational robustness come from? How come I can successfully be one of the objectively best debate coaches in the country with multiple national champions to my name as a coach? You know, how can it be all of that stuff if I'm an SI dom? How come I can make up songs on the fly, make up poems on the fly? It's just, I mean, it's like you have to ignore the massive elephant in the room that I have 6+ years of doing almost nothing but extrovertedly intuiting. I mean, I'm not saying ISFJs can't be ideationally adept. I'm saying they don't devote year after year of their life to making new things, right? Over and over again. Making new live streams and new songs and new things and never developing any old ideas. They absolutely they can be ideationally robust. They can be adept, but they don't devote their entire life to it year after year after year, right? It's just insane. Anybody who thinks that that's possible knows absolutely nothing about typology. I mean, that's just all there is to it, you know? I'm as ENTP as they get. I literally am the poster boy for ENTPs. So, you know, think what you want. If I'm an ISFJ, what do you have to do to be an ENTP? Is it because real ENTPs produce 10 times as much material as I produce? Is it because real ENTPs are even more successful at coaching competition flow debates? I mean, you have to throw out everything you know about cognitive functions and typology to think I'm an ISFJ. Because introverts are constantly live streaming everything about their life with no regard for privacy? Because that's an ISFJ thing to do? I mean, it's completely fucking nuts. It's like, wow, these people, they have so much spite in their lives that they are completely allowing themselves to be dragged into delusion. It makes no sense at all, right? Yeah, I have become a lot nicer over the course of the YouTube channel and a lot more pleasant, a lot more. I've grown up too. I mean, my SI's gotten better. I'm more actively attending to it. But you have to ignore a huge body of evidence to think I'm an ISFJ. I mean, have you been to my blog? You know, I have a blog too, which has tons of writing on it. All you gotta do is look at my Google Docs. Oh yeah. I don't want a lot of SI. I talk a lot about SI because I'm coming to terms with the fact that SI is how I is my bridge to my authentic self. You know, that it's, you know, I've got to take care of myself. I've got to balance my desire to with taking care of myself. You know. Rachel's helped me with that a lot, interestingly. As an INFJ, you wouldn't think she'd be very helpful with SI, but she is very helpful because we're both kind of half-assed about it, and we both help each other with it. So even if ISFJs can sustain the NE energy, but only on a limited scope, and I've seen my friend Dave Porter do it, certainly. He's a performer. He likes to perform very practiced songs. Okay, note that he doesn't, he has a repertoire of songs that he has learned and he practices over and over again, and he can play them very well. And he'll add new songs to his repertoire, but that's how he does it, right? I can barely remember, I don't think I can remember even 10 of my own songs to play. I have hundreds of songs. It's like, you just got to look at my channel. Remember, we're not talking about a display of NE energy briefly. We're talking about years and years of my life documented for everyone to see and reference. Huge, massive pile of data that you have to ignore to think that I could possibly ever be an introverted sensor as a dominant function. It's crazy. It's completely insane. It's one of the craziest things I've ever heard in typology. It's crazier even than the notion that I'm an ESFJ, which is also completely insane. Unless you want to throw out any meaningful understanding of what introverted thinking is. If my introverted thinking is this good as an ESFJ, how good must it be for ENTPs and INTPs? I mean, they must just be able to, except I have all this typing session data that shows how TI is pretty definitive as to whether you can is first or second slot. It's kind of no disputing that mine lines up with a bunch of other data, objective data that we can all look at and we can all see, and it's just there's no avoiding that. Spacey knows. Spacey knows what it's like to deal with somebody who's second slot TI versus somebody who's worse. Apparently Becky says that I'm the answer. That's what somebody told me today. Anyway, I don't know. I actually think, I've agreed with all the typing so far that I've retyped people he's typed. Yeah, an ungodly amount is correct. And that misses the piles of shit that I have on hard drives that are around here that are from who knows what the fuck's on it. I never go back. I'm terrible with my SI. SI metaphysical for me is only instrumental. It's not absolute, and I avoid it when I can, or I'd like to delegate it. YouTube was a way of delegating some of my SI metaphysical. I think I'm definitely ex-NTP. I am not an INTP. I'm not an I. I'm just not an introvert. Who would think I'm an introvert? I always want to be. Look at what is live chatting? What is live streaming here like this? This is me getting to be the center of attention and do all the talking, and you guys talk with typing your words in over there in text. How much more extroverted could a person be than wanting to do this all the time? It's crazy. It's crazy that anybody would doubt that I'm an ENTP. Hey, it throws the whole typology world upside down. To think that I'm not an ENTP, the amount of expert intuition one must have to display to be an expert in intuition, Dom, must just be insane. Yeah, he is a lot like me, I actually think Becky's more like me than he is, but of course, the difference being he was raised in a loving home and has good self-concept and no attachment issues, so he's healthy. That's the difference. Cloud, you're so ridiculous. I love you too, Cloud. Cloud is, what is love, James? Love is the emotion I feel towards Cloud and his hilarious scoring. Cloud 9 out of 10. Mm-hmm. I usually don't, Bacon. Sometimes I do, but I usually actually recount what I'm actually doing. I think it's like 20 or 21 or something. Yeah, Queen's weakness is I don't know. I really want to nail down this phenomenon of what specific sickness in others that I ignite that makes them burn so brightly in their antagonism towards me. Queen's weakness is not an INFJ. You're kidding me. I don't know. I don't think he does typings. If he were to do them at this point, he would cost costs a fortune. He doesn't need anybody's money to type him. He doesn't need that at all. I mean, that's the thing. Then Queen's weakness also doesn't understand metaphors well, because his quote unquote gambit was just pointless flailing, amounting to nothing. Queen's weakness, Renekio loins, hoary clown. Apparently even Spacey harbors some antagonism towards me. But of course, if you spend too much proximity around spite, it's going to get to you eventually. You gotta draw some lines. You gotta take a moral stance and say, I'm not gonna support you in this wrongness to your significant other if they're that determinedly wrong. A lot of people hate me, Mark Dan. I'm among the more hated people on YouTube. Not as hated as C.S. Joseph, fortunately. The thing is, what's going to get people to hate you? Either being bad, in which case there's lots of people who are going to hate you. Being divisive, in which case there's lots of people who are going to hate you. Or being good, uncompromising, in which you're always going to get some people who hate you. Or you could be FE smart and just sort of go with flow, and everybody's equal and everything's the same. And, hey, you talk about your mushy nonsense and I'll talk about my mushy nonsense and we'll pretend they mean something. No, I don't want mushy nonsense. I'm not going to play that game. Why? Because I'm not an ISFJ or an ESFJ in part. I'm an ENTP and it's like community schmabunity. I'm right. The problem with Voltology is not that it is completely without merit. I do think there are physical correlates. There are cues that people can use, physical cues that can assist in typing. The thing is, you should never justify anybody's type using Voltology, because it's not a justifiable way of typing somebody. In other words, it's not communicatively defensible. Where's my inspirational wall signs? I must have let them all fall down. Which inspirational wall sign do I need today? Tonight, I choose sleep. Yeah, cognitive functions do influence your physical displays. But like I said, if you're going to tell somebody what type they are, you shouldn't adding your explanation any of your physical cues, because those aren't communicatively defensible. Those are subjective links you've made that you can't explain why they're that way. It could be turned into a good enough heuristic, but even then, if somebody typed me with that, I'd say, okay, well, how is it and why is it that this kind of facial movement links to this function or this type? Like, why does that type do that instead of something else? Well, there's no explanation for that. There's no mechanics implicit to the displays. And so it can't be cross-referenced at all. It can't be cross-verified, against anything else. I need a beverage. I'm dying of thirst. I'm going to go get a beverage. I'm going to move my car in too. I'll be back in a second. It's not the case, KK, that all ESFJs have wall signs. I do say hyperbolic things like that, of course, sometimes. But, mostly in jest. And, of course, if you want to take things out of context and pretend like everything's meant in dead seriousness, then you're welcome to do that. And it's a great use of your time. Watch a lot more of my videos. So, um, TI can be good at math, but you know, if you have NI too high up, I mean NE too high up in the mix, it's too repetitive or something. Well, I mean, TI is symbolic reasoning, which includes math, but it's native to language rather than numbers. Which is why TE users can often be quite good at math, science, and stuff. It's not SI, no. Math doesn't necessarily involve any SI because it's usually in front of your face, you know. Yeah, I understand that TI is logic gate frameworks. In other words, conditionality, and that there's conditionality implicit in all symbolic languages, including math. I understand that, Cloud. This is what I've been teaching you. This is where you learned this from. It's from me. Well, TE means results, most importantly. So TE users have strategy to learn math if they want to. And if they don't want to learn it, then that's not the result they're going to get. Well, then I guess you haven't been listening to me, Claude. I guess you learned it from somebody who learned it from me. Depends which kind of math. Like geometry was the math that I enjoyed because it's proofs, and you can go about proving it in a couple of different ways, and it does involve expert intuition in that sense. I didn't like the rest of math that was very much directed, execute this approach, you know, this, because what does a function do? It executes a relational dynamic between two variables or two objects in a field. So it's like, okay, well, here's some function rules. Now make it happen with these examples. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck? What's the context here? Why am I doing this? You know, there's no accounting for intuitives in the sense that math never stops and says, here's the big picture, and here's what we're talking about. We're talking about grammar in math, and here's why we use this grammar, where we need this grammar. And you know, I need the top level shit. It's like I've always said, if I was going to learn a foreign language, and I kind of speak Spanish, but if I wanted to learn it the way I wanted to learn it, I would learn it by first getting all of the grammar taught to me, and then learning some vocabulary words. I want to be able to fully conjugate a verb before I learn it, you know, not learn the verb before I can fully conjugate. That seems crazy. Yeah, I couldn't stand that shit. Put together give us a process and make us do it 30 times. Fuck that noise. It's like, that's not something that I'm ever going to find meaningful. Especially the only frame is, well, if you get them all right, then you get a good grade. Well, that's not a reason to do anything. Oh, well, that's 3 hours. I think I'll probably wrap it up now. go inside. Maybe I'll pull a bong rip first. Maybe play one song on the guitar, and then wrap it up and go inside and go to bread, as they say. This flower will enchant my room. If I had been taught in the style of the Gale Bruce, cheaper by the dozen, taught time theory and efficiency, I would have math, but I was taught in the old school style. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people probably think that they're bad at grammar, for example. Probably the reason they think that is because they got taught grammar wrong. And if you get taught grammar properly, then grammar makes perfect sense. And you can always tell anything you need to tell you about grammar. But because they had the way to teach it, it's called sentence diagramming. The way I teach it. And like, oh, Cloud. I think you zinged me a little bit there. I'm going to need a little bit of aloe for my burn. Interesting. Yeah, math is just like, okay, well, math is nice and everything, but I don't know. You know, today I found out that half of a 100-year life is 15 years. And I was like, something's wrong with this math. I could have sworn it was 50, but it turns out it's 15. Well, that's because of my radioactive decay isotopes. That's why. All right, I was going to pull bong rip, then I'm going to play a song, then I'm going to end this. So let me do it in that order. That is a very good nose push. That is a very good nose push. I've pushed my nose. I've pushed my nose. That is a very good nose push. You need it for uni. Uni. The only British people call it uni, James. God. It's not called uni. It's called university or college, more properly. Or that dumb shit after high school. Don't be a British person and call it uni. Bacon, now's not the time to depress me. Okay? I want you to, instead of depressing me, I want you to impress me. Like Curious Kyra, who points out that her teacher suggested prison might be one of the best ways to learn higher math. Good point, teacher. Not sure how or why, but good point. Feynman is a genius and an ENTP, correct. It's easy to master college level biology. All you got to do is get genetics down and then add the word evolution to it. It's true, Cloud. Hey, Cloud is nailing it. Faux show. That was Roz Brew. Check me out. What's Roz? What's RAS? I want to know what that means. Science is good. Okay, Mr. Bunsen Burner. You go ahead with your microscopes and your Bunsen burners. I thought it was a new slang term the youths were using. I was hopeful I was going to learn a new youth culture slang term. Dank. That was dank, bro. Check me out. Chuck us the roids, G. What does check us the roids, G mean? Which type is most likely to step on an alien spaceship? ESFP? Why is everything bad happening to me? That's true. Experimental. Oh. What's that word that means to throw away from you? Yeet? Is it yeet? There you go, your third breakfast. Yeet me the roids. If I said somebody yeet me the roids, would that make sense? Would they throw me some roids? I'm not a boomer, Christian. Jeez. Listen. I want you to try antacids. Okay. What's happening is the spite is causing acid reflux. And it's making you pissy. I'm not a boomer. I'm not even close to a boomer. I'm Generation X. Well, that was you. Eat me the gear, brah. ISCJ, yeah, well, your cancer on boss told me to finish this anyway. Just leave off the anyway. Is my dad a boomer? No, my dad's pre-boomer. I was kind of curious as to what generation he was. He was basically just at draftable age when World War II ended. The silent generation were they were born between the two world wars, were probably too young to fight in World War II, but may remember it. The Lucky Few, part 3 of 7. Forbes. The silent generation, born 1925 to 1942, comprises roughly 20 million adults in their 70s and 80s. Their age, location, and history sandwiches them awkwardly between two better-known generations. They were born too late to be in World War II and too early to be New Age firebrands. In their personal lives, this age location has been a source of tension. The silent generation were entering middle life. They spearheaded the divorce revolution and popularized the term midlife crisis. But in their economic lives, this age location has been very good to them, giving them a lifetime ride on the up escalator coming off the American high. They started out as children of crisis. They grew up while older people were fighting wars and making great sacrifices on their behalf. Child rearing in America already more protected for the GIs approached the point of suffocation. When the silent began coming of age after World War II, they tiptoed cautiously into a post-crisis social order no one wanted to disturb. And unlike the GIs, they really talked about changing the system, but about working within the system because they didn't want anything to go on their permanent records and kept their heads down during the McCarthy era. Time gave them the label silent in a famous 1951 essay. They were also careful in the labor market. College class of 1949, Fortune story on the college class of 1949 was subtitled Taking No Chances. My dad probably graduated in 51, I would guess. When they went to interviews, the first questions were about pension plans. They emulated their powerful GI elders by marrying and having babies young, in fact, younger than any generation in American history, except my parents didn't. They waited till they were 35. Unlike the GIs, the silent didn't have to wait for a depression or a war to end. A new booming economy was ready to join right out of school. Demographer Richard Easterlin, in his 1980 book Birth and Fortune, called them the lucky or fortunate generation for their great timing. Easterlin noted a remarkable feature of the Sputnik era was that the typical young man could earn more by age 30 than the average wage for men of all ages in his profession, and could certainly live better than most retired elders. He also noted that since the mid-70s, economic conditions facing young, late-wage boomers were becoming much tougher. At the time, Easterlin hypothesized that the silent, being small in number due to low birth rates during the 30s and early 40s, benefited from labor markets that bid up their wages in an era when the young adults were relatively scarce. Later, as they retired, their small size, next to the large FICA-paying generation following them, that certainly helped make their pay-as-you-go Social Security and Medicare benefits seem more affordable. Yet the arrival of young adult Gen Xers in the 80s and 90s, who were also small in number but have fared miserably in the economy, throws this explanation into doubt. Numbers helped, but what helped the silent even more, again, was their timing. Tops played by the rules the generation discovered at every age, the moment they married, at the median age of 21 in 1960, and purchased a house and car soon thereafter. That playing by the rules always worked well for them. As the silent have aged, their perfect timing has not let them down. Many of them locked in fixed 3% mortgages on their first homes in the 1960s, just before inflation hit, giving them decades of negative real estate interest rates. In large corporations, they signed up young for the defined benefit pension plans, the same plans that are now unraveling for the boomers. Their midlife high savings decades roughly coincided with perhaps the greatest bull market ever in stocks and bonds. The last silent cohort reached age 65 in 2007. That's 13 years ago. That would be 78 now. So my dad's on the younger side of this because he's like 83 now or something. So he's not the youngest of the silent generation, but on the younger side. It's the only living generation that could half believe, along with Woody Allen, that 80% of life is just showing up, a joke that makes most actors simply shake their heads. In terms of national leadership, the silent, unlike the GIs, are not a powerful generation. They redefined leadership more as maestro than macho. They are the only generation in American history never to occupy the White House, and presidents who jumped from George Bush Sr. to baby boomer Bill Clinton. I guess probably Obama's a Gen Xer, huh? How old is Obama? 58. No, he's a he's like the youngest boomer. Is Obama a boomer? Obama's a boomer. It's Gen X's turn now, says the Washington Post. Hi. Petula Dvorak says she sounds like a Gen Xer. Former Vice President Joe Biden is joining the race. It's been clear that America has to cut to the mic on the boomers and their older brothers, too. You've been in charge way too long. And whoa, hold on there, millennials. Stop cutting in line. Hi, Gen X here. We're that little in-between generation, the tugboat sandwiched between two super tankers trying to navigate the turbulent waters the mega generation has created. We're in our 40s and 50s, having survived the chaotic, adult-centric, latchkey, tequila sunrise-soaked childhood boomers created for us. And now we're left with figuring out how to fix this hot mess of a world that the folks in power have masterminded. Gen Xers make up 25% of the population and have 31% of the total U.S. income. So we're, a little bit better than our average, but not as good as we should be being in our 40s and 50s. Nearly half of us live in multi-generational homes where we're raising the next generation while caring for our elders. Gen X built the dang bridge to the digital world that millennials are crossing. It's more complex than this, but basically human history repeats itself in 4 cycles. Crisis, a war, depression, or other era of destruction. High, recovery from that crisis and the unity and prosperity that follow an escape from death and destruction. Awakening, individuals begin to rebel against institutions, grow increasingly self-centered, and become less community-driven. And then unraveling, a full-blown rebellion against institutions which are weak and distrusted. Gen X were the offspring who came in during the boomers' awakening and unraveling. Our parents were both the hippies and the wolves of Wall Street, and we are experts at surviving both. It made us the repairers, the fixers, the uniters. Our historical soulmates, the folks born during the same generational cycle as we were, are George Washington and Ulysses S. Grant, Dwight D. Eisenhower. See the pattern? No. This means George Washington was a Gen Xer of his time. According to the generations theory, the millennials should be the heroes. They should be the elitists to lead us in a more unified, prosperous, and peaceful place. But Gen X has to build that bridge. We're good at it. Makes sense, actually. Makes a lot of sense. I don't normally like that kind of generational stuff, but it makes a lot of sense. You know? I do feel as though meow. Oh, Cloud, why are you always making provocative statements? Jesus is no ENFJ. Obviously. Oh, Cloud. Oh, Cloud. It's only because of the Spirit of Jesus I'm going to forgive you your wrongness this time. The Spirit of Jesus has infused my heart, and I'm going to forgive you your wrongness. Oh, hey, Rachel Lapalosa. You still awake? I was just about to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap this up and come in and lie down in the beds with you with the sleeping times. Been a nice live stream, you know. Cloud's been here, pulling some random shit out of his ass and some good shit out of his ass. It depends on the moment. Bacon's been here, made out of pork, smoky and frying up like sausages on a hot Christmas morning. And of course, who else has been here? Sound artist has been here. He just got here, maybe. I'm not sure. James has been here, lolling and okay, so I'm awaking and being the awakening and other things. Can Krishna Sarmpragu left because she had to go dye her hair. Boy, it's been a substantial eating. Winston's mom has been talking about Bacon's mom's Lincoln Town Car. And James made a face. Jason Blood was here. He was talking about experimental physics. It's been a really exciting evening. Luis, he's on the INFJ boy. Does it mean that old boomers fought in World War? No, boomers are after World War II. The greatest generation was the ones that fought in World War II. You got a 4 this year? So that's the good news. The bad news is it's out of 10. So it's an F. Eric spit some knowledge for the youngins tuning in. I'd say elect a Gen X candidate next time, like that lady was saying, like me. I mean, we are a slacky generation, you know? That's not something I necessarily would recommend to anybody to emulate of Generation X, although I get it if you do. We are a disaffected bunch. Like, whatever about your yes, you know. I don't think it's necessarily the best. I'm saying that's what it's called. It's generally referred to as the greatest generation, or what, I don't know. What other names does it have? That's just what it's usually called. What generation fought in WW2? The GI generation or the greatest generation? What are the 6 generations? The 6 generations. The greatest generation, a GI generation, which is dying off pretty quickly. You know, not a lot of World War II vets left, I don't think. Greatest generation, the silent generation, that's my dad. Baby boomers, that's Winston's mom. Generation X, that's me. Millennials, that's Rachel. And Zoomers, which is, I guess, Delilah? Delilah's Generation Z? Yeah, 1997 to 2012. Delilah's early Generation Z. She's 1998. This should be an old Generation Z. Most members of Generation Z are children of Generation X. Well, mine certainly is. The Lost Generation is the generation that fought in World War One. It came of age during World War One. No members of that generation remain born between 1883 and 1900 since the death of Nabi Tajima on April 2018 at the ripe old age of 118. What's going on out there? Thinking about the generation before the ones that still have some people alive gives me a chill. It makes me feel how many let me just ask this question. How many World War II veterans still alive? Almost 400,000 are still alive in 2019. Of the 16 million Americans who served in World War II, 389,292 are still alive in 2019. Huh. Wow, this projected chart. They'll all be dead by 2031, according to this projected chart. Doesn't it sort of take your breath away and a bit of existential terror? It does me. Yeah, my great grandmother, I knew her, and she was from the 1800s. She was like 100 years old when she died when I guess it was before fifth grade, I think. So it must have been like third grade or something. So figure in 1980 or so, she was 100, died right around there. So she must have been born in 1880 or something like that. I know, it's really cool. I like to watch the old footage of New York and stuff from the early 1900s, but yeah, 1800s and shit. I haven't really seen that one, but I want to check it out. You make me want to check it out right now. In fact, I also want to go to bed. But yeah, there's the scenes of the old footage and stuff is weird. So okay, now that I'm feeling all existentially spooked, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for being here, everybody. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.